You have a TV?
No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. You don't need a TV.
Television addict! Television addict! Television addict!
Hello and welcome. It's Wednesday. It's time for a brand new edition of TV Guidance Counselor. I am Ken Reed, as always, your TV Guidance Counselor, and today's episode is another one of my absolute favorites that we've done thus far. If you are checking the show out for the first time, a little bit of what this show is about. I am a stand-up comedian from Boston, still based there, and for the last 2 years, I've been welcoming guests onto the show to talk about classic television using old editions of TV Guide as our entryway. This week, I have a guest from my old punk rock days. I also was in a punk rock band here in the Boston area in the 90s when I was a teenager called 30 Seconds Over Tokyo. And my guest today, Brett Anderson, is a member of the Donnas, who were also around when we were a band, and I saw them at the Elvis Room in 1997, and they were amazing. They went on to be a band for much longer than we were, and were much better than we were. She also had a band called the Stripminers, and is still doing some great music, and she is fantastic, really smart, really funny. You may have also seen her on various VH1 I Love Thee specials, where she's commenting on some of the very things we talk about in this episode. Really love sitting down and talking to Brett. As I said, she is very funny, very interesting, very smart. I think you will enjoy hearing me sit down and talk to her. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode of TV Guidance Counselor with my guest, Brett Anderson.
TV is my friend, and it has been always there for me in time of need.
Brett Anderson, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
We've already been chatting for like a really long time about everything but TV, which has been very enjoyable. We finally got to the TV stuff, and you ended up picking a fall preview from '92,
Yep.
which was very exciting because the first thing you saw in it was The Heights.
The Heights is really special, mostly not because of Even the Heights,
Right.
but because of the Ben Stiller show
Yes.
version of Melrose Heights 902104020.
Were you living in the Midwest when that was airing?
So this year I just realized is important
Okay.
because it's the year I moved from Indiana to Palo Alto. So we drove across the country that summer between 6th and 7th grade.
So you were probably more tuned into stuff that was parodying the lifestyle of teenagers out
man.
here.
So I was watching TwinPeaks when I lived in Indiana, and that's like how I felt inside.
Yeah.
But I was also watching 90210 when we were moving to California, and I was
Right.
like, okay, sweet, like it's gonna be like
Perfect.
90210. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a little fake, but there's
Yeah.
beaches and palm trees, and then I got there, and it's like, have you been to Palo Alto?
Is it kind of deserty?
It's like the most beautiful, tragic, dark forest.
Okay.
It's north of Big Sur.
Okay.
So Monterey,
Yep.
some cypress trees.
So it's very like Brothers Grimm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not 90210.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's the sand?
I didn't see one surfboard.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And I was so bummed. I felt so cheated. But then it also actually really resonated with the way I really am a lot better.
So it was probably better, because if you had
Yeah.
been dropped into 90210, probably would have been. If you're feeling Twin Peaks inside,
Yeah.
doesn't always mesh with 90210
No.
outside. You needed a transitional place.
I was hoping it would help me,
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
like at 12 years old, I was like, I could use a little positivity.
I need to be jump-started into sassy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Literally. Or more 17. Sassy's a little angsty.
I should change my part.
Yes, yeah, I'll go on the other side. I'll get some manic panic, but not a ton.
Yeah.
I'll be just slightly. It was, growing up not in California, it seems like it's all the beach.
Yeah.
It's huge.
That's what you think. You don't realize that the coast is not the whole place.
It's 2/3 of the whole West Coast. So it's Florida to, Maryland at least. Which
and
is
then
the beach.
it goes east about 2 miles, and then it's the Midwest.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's very true. So
Yeah.
it's when you first get her, it is kind of a shock that, especially as a kid, when your concept
Oh,
of
God.
small places is not quite well formed.
I was looking at my parents differently from then on. I was like, you guys don't really know how to make decisions,
Yeah.
I guess.
You could have gone to the beach. You can drive. I had to come along where you went, but this could be the beach. And it's not, and I don't understand.
True.
Yeah. I would have been the same way. I loved Twin Peaks at that time, which
man.
again, we're the same age. That seemed inappropriate probably for our age group.
There's no way we should have been watching that. And I had Laura Palmer's Diary.
Oh, I did
and
too.
I read that. I mean, that informed a lot of my behavior.
That was so crazy because David Lynch's daughter wrote it.
Yeah.
So it really, even if it was removed from the show, is like this perfect angsty teenage dark. Just that was a cash-in thing.
Yep.
But it was really like as a kid you're like, yep, this is it.
Yeah, it really resonates.
Which is not good.
I wonder how many were made.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I see in used bookstores all the time. I see less of the Dale Cooper Diaries book. And there was also a guidebook to Twin Peaks that was like a fake travelogue.
Yes.
I had that as well.
Oh, that's so cool.
Used and remainder bookstores were like my salvation as a kid.
Yes,
like,
true.
$2.99.
Yeah.
1994 Twin Peaks book no one wants anymore. So I loved that show, even though it was nothing like what I was experiencing either.
It's so weird to think about watching 90210 and Twin Peaks at the same time.
Yeah.
Like that one brain can handle all of that. One little 12-year-old brain.
Yeah.
You know?
But you're getting exposed to, a wide variety of things, makes you a more worldly person.
Yeah.
Because I feel like now you can just watch, if you only like Twin Peaks, you can only watch Twin Peaks and things like it.
Yeah,
if you're a
well,
kid.
that's true because everything's recommended. So that, you like this, you might like this.
Yeah, they would. The algorithm would never go. You like Twin Peaks? Hey, let's look in on the Walshes in Beverly Hills. See how they're doing. Even though sometimes that show is more bizarre than Twin Peaks.
Oh my God! Like when they did Euphoria.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Emily Valentine. The Bad Influence. Do you remember when the Cramps were on Beverly Hills 90210?
I don't.
They had a Halloween episode.
Oh my God.
And the freaking Cramps are playing at the Peach Pit.
Was that the one where Kelly dresses up as a witch and invites some abuse to her life? Or that's what they accuse her of?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And I'm like, I remember coming home. We used to hang out at this place, The Rat, in Kenmore Square in Boston. And I came home early from a show. It was the only time I sat and watched a whole episode of 90210 because the Cramps were on it.
That's crazy.
And nobody believed me that I was like, I just watched because the Cramps. And they're like, yeah, okay. Because you couldn't confirm it. It was they couldn't look it up on the internet. And it was really weird. It was very, very strange.
You couldn't confirm that.
No, and that sounds so made up.
Would that have been written in TV Guide?
It would have been, yeah. So another reason to hang on to them. Yeah, it would have been like special appearance by the Cramps in this episode. Bands showed up on shows a lot more.
They did. I don't know why they don't do that more now. We were on Charmed. That was exciting.
Had you watched that show before you?
I had seen it, yeah.
I have kind of a soft spot for Charmed.
Yeah.
It was a fun show.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a great cast. And it's a 90210 connection.
So was it when she was on it still? She and Dory was in the episode?
Oh, was it?
She got replaced with Rose McGowan.
Right, which is another. We were in a movie with her, Jawbreaker.
Yes, which I love that movie.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. So you have many connections to this. How did you get asked to be in the Charmed episode?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, they were just like, hey, we need a band.
I got a phone call one day. Jawbreaker was something where I remember making phone calls from payphones at Denny's on our first tour in '98 and being like, yeah, that sounds great. We're going to need some per diem.
Yeah, is that how it's pronounced?
We're going to need a per diem.
Yeah, so that was the first big thing that was like a studio thing. Because were you on Lookout at that?
Yes, we were.
So
on
it was
Lookout.
because I think that's when I met you. You guys put the Elvis room in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that show because I had a drink called like a Snickers.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my God.
I loved playing that venue because you could get milkshakes with your drink tickets.
Oh my God.
It was so
great.
Which again, not what you want to have when you're playing a show.
No, not at all.
But was still kind of great. So yeah, that was in '99 was when Jawbreaker came out. So yeah, you guys really blew up and they were like, we want you in this movie. And you're
Yeah, it was Darren Star was the director.
Yes, and he had done videos, I think, before that.
Yes,
maybe.
he got in touch with us.
That's pretty amazing.
I was like so excited. I definitely wanted to do that.
Saw it in theaters, and Marilyn Manson's in that movie.
Yeah, we met him on the shoot.
Very weird.
Yeah, he was like, I have your record. It's really good.
And you're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Because was he in his creepy porn stash outfit that he's in the movie?
Oh my God, he's so good in that.
Yeah, he's almost unrecognizable.
Isn't it Rock Me Like a Hurricane too?
Yes. Yeah.
How they get the scorpions.
Yeah. Scorpions. Well, they are German. Maybe they were like, this was the video we always wanted on MTV when not aired this way. Is there anything that you've ever been asked to use your music for that you were like, I don't know?
Yes. Oh, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, really?
Well, we had a thing about we didn't want to do feminine products.
Right. They'd be like, can we use this for this Massengill?
Yeah. We used to, It was, well, not that, but you
Makeup
know.
remover for Take It Off or something?
Well, well, that's the thing. The worst one was actually a maybe a Yaz commercial,
Okay, yeah,
birth control, which, you know, I'm for politically.
Yeah.
And medically, and, you know.
It's good for everyone.
It's great.
And it helps your acne. Yes.
It does. It also sometimes makes you have dark spots on your face. Like, for a while I was taking birth control. Sorry, Mom.
Yep.
She'll know that now.
She'll know. And she listens every week.
I was getting like a dark area on my upper lip, and I was like, well, this birth control is 100% effective
Yes.
because I
This
have
is
now
what
a
it is.
mustache.
Yeah,
and
yeah. That'd be funny if that's really how they designed it. They were like, this is going to be perfect.
It actually makes you grow a mustache.
Yeah. We're making her
You will
male.
never get pregnant.
Never going to happen. It's
Even when you stop
100%.
taking this,
Yep.
you'll still never get pregnant.
Mustache will always be there.
It's
you're like-
disturbing.
yeah.
So Yaz, I think it was Yaz, before they got all those.
The lawsuits.
Oh my-
I think people died.
That's another 100% effective.
Yes.
birth
If
control.
you're dead, you are not having a baby. And that is always true.
I sued Yaz because I had a baby after they killed me.
I wonder if they asked the band Yaz with Alison Moyet to be like, yeah, will you be this? We named it after your band. We're big
crazy.
fans.
I just remembered, actually, I thought it was Take It Off, which would have been great for a
Yeah.
makeup commercial. And I think we would have done makeup. I
Yeah.
mean, it would have been cheesy. It would have been the end.
Seabreeze, Take It Off.
Oh, I remember Seabreeze.
Yeah.
But it was for a birth control pill, and the whole spin was that it was supposed to be good for, like, not PMS, but the extra PMS. That was like you're turning into a monster.
Yeah, the extra cramps and depression and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So it was like, it treats that. That was what they were saying. So they wanted us to cover Twisted Sister. We're not going to take it. Because we're not going to take it.
But that's
then
not good for a medication.
a pill, right? I was like, you guys really missed the point on that.
Yeah. It's so funny how, like, non-creative people in executive roles making those decisions do not get anything. Like, they're
Right.
just
They
like,
didn't think about what the...
makes perfect sense.
Totally.
Yeah.
But what's weird about that is it seems like they would get that even more because it's just literally saying we're not going to take
Yeah,
it.
it's as simple as you can get. What do you do with this product? You take it. This song says we're not going to take it. I don't see what the problem is here. I really don't understand.
What are you talking about, though?
Yeah.
It's a Twisted Sister.
Yeah, everybody loves them.
They're not actually women.
Yeah, so they could take it. We can get the song, guys. Let's make the
We
product
can afford
after.
this. Yeah, it's been approved.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Stop asking. Don't ask why.
Dee Snider's our spokesperson. Dee Snider for birth control would be, again, probably 100% effective.
They might not realize, too, he's
Yeah.
a man.
Yeah, that's true.
She's a great spokesperson.
Guys, we got Bette Midler. She's going to be the spokesperson. This is not Bette Midler. He's like, we're not going to take it, but I will give you Burn in Hell.
Oh, my God. I want that pill.
New campaign. It does. It only works as birth control if you're married, and then if you're not, you get pregnant and then you use Burn in Hell by Twisted Sister.
I think that's taker.
I think we just made $1 million right here with these ideas.
It feels good.
Yeah. So you were looking through this, and it's the fall preview. So there's
Right.
a lot of shows that premiere this season,
Yes.
including The Heights, which
Yes.
is a weird anomaly in that the Jamie Walters "How Do You Talk to an Angel" song, the song for psychics everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
was number one in the charts while the show was canceled, which
So
is
crazy.
really weird.
Yeah.
And they never aired the final episode, which was very frustrating.
I didn't know that.
I did watch The Heights.
Oh my
I did watch it.
gosh.
And I didn't really get into a lot of the other
AaronSpelling
spelling shows.
Blue Balls.
But that one I was like, because Jamie Walters is from Gloucester, Mass.
Oh, really?
So we got a lot of like news coverage of like, local boy makes good. And he was all, "How
so
do
he
you
was
talk?"
was he on 90210 and it spun off? So and
Yeah.
then he pushed Donna down the stairs.
Yeah.
It was a domestic abuse.
Let's give a domestic
Comment.
abuser a spin-off series because he's very popular. The kids really like his music.
Oh my God.
You would never have that.
No.
Never. He's the main character in the show.
I think that might have been what hurt the show.
Probably. Yeah, be like, I like his music, but he's kind of a monster.
Kind of when he pushed her down the... It's like, it doesn't really matter if you're singing really sweet and sensitive.
No.
If you're
Because he's
acting.
trying to make her an angel, as
Yeah.
you pointed out earlier,
Oh, yeah.
by pushing her down the stairs.
How do you talk to an angel?
Yeah.
You push her down the
Friend
stairs.
them first, and then when they're dead, they'll come hunt you because
Yeah.
you killed them.
It's actually called a demon or a
Yes,
ghost. But
yes.
if you want to call it an angel...
If it's an angel to some, demons to others, it's the Hellraiser quotient.
Totally.
I always thought it was because I was a huge music fan then,
Mm-hmm.
and I watched 120 Minutes was huge, and we had
Mm-hmm.
good college radio, so I was kind of, I hung around Harvard Square and like shadowed college kids and
Yeah.
would like look at what they were buying at Newbury Comics, and so
Newbury Comics.
anything about music, I was like, I want to watch this.
Yeah.
But The Heights weirded me out because it was that thing where they're like, we need a band that has a guy white guy, black guy. There's a
Yeah.
Hispanic guy. We have 2 twin girls. They play keyboards. There's sax. It was just like unlike any band that teenagers would have.
Absolutely.
No one. I mean, I don't know anyone who had keyboards in their band. Or
Not in that era. No.
in the grunge era, as it were. Yeah, it just struck me as wrong, but I did watch it.
It went through too many filters, I think.
It certainly did. It was classic. I'm a 60-year-old man. Here's what a band looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, where's the Mellotron player?
My favorite though was in the Ben Stiller show when Andy Dick, he has like the big like blonde mullet, and he's always like working on a car.
Yeah.
But he like rolls out from under the car like with his guitar. He's just been noodling under there.
Teenagers, man, it's what they do.
Come here to think, man.
It's
Come
what
here
they
to
do.
think.
That show does not get enough credit, the Ben Stiller show, because it was only 13 episodes, and it was so good. The satire on that
Yes.
show was just so biting.
Yes.
But it was people who got the like they had to have liked or watched the things they were parroting because they got it
Yes.
so well.
Well, like Janine Garofalo as Brenda, you know, she's like, I'm scared, make out with me.
Yeah, which was perfect. It was just so perfect. That's another show that I'm happy that Fox didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
So they were just like, anything. You
Yeah.
kids know what you're doing? Hey, if people will watch it before they kind of figured out their formula. So we got all kinds of weird stuff. Like Herman's Head is another one that came up this year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
is in this was the first season.
It's a common reference for me.
Is it really?
Well, now that Inside Out is out, I
Yes.
can just, refer to that. But before that, I had to use Herman's Head.
Yeah.
I have a couple of really good friends. Well, I don't know if they know how good of friends they are of me.
Okay. It's one-sided.
They're some of my best friends.
Right, but
I might
they
be an
don't know
acquaintance
you.
to them.
Yeah.
They're amazing. And I know that because I talk about Herman's Head so much. One time I laughed so hard I cried about Herman's Head.
Right.
And the next time I went over their house, they had downloaded just the opening.
Excellent. That's a true friend. So they are your best friends.
They're my best
Yes,
friends.
yes. Did you watch it every week? Was it like, do you remember when you first watched it, you're like, yes, this show?
Yeah, I mean, and I think it was just at an impressionable time because
Yeah.
I think about the feelings and I think about the gluttonous guy and I think about the nerd
Yeah.
all the time. Like when I'm talking to people, I'll picture them in their head.
Which one is in charge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're letting that guy talk?
It
You
is
don't
an
let that
interesting.
guy
I mean, you're studying psychology now.
It's
I mean,
true.
maybe that's what planted the seeds.
It might have been.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
you're like,
What's
I could do
making you
this.
say that?
You're going to be a therapist and be like, which voice is talking in your head now? Is it the fat guy?
Yeah.
Is his hat on backwards because that's a bad sign?
I'm going to show you a picture of him. Does this ring a bell?
Yeah. Do you remember the episode where Lita Ford?
No.
I think you've worked with her before. Haven't you met Lita Ford before? I feel like you have. Maybe? I don't
No,
know.
I
feel
mean-
like you guys, maybe, obviously you would know better
We
than I.
should have.
Yeah.
We
I
should
felt
have.
like you had for some
Yeah.
weird reason.
No, she's
but
amazing.
she shows up as Lita Ford
Oh my God.
in an episode where Herman ends up being a groupie for her and is like her boy toy, and it's a big controversy.
Oh my God.
And Hank Azaria brings him to the concert because
Oh,
he's all
yes.
like, Hank Azaria's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it with Lita Ford, and then Herman ends up like hitting it off with her, and he's like cheating on his girlfriend
Oh
with
my
Lita Ford,
God.
and it's really bizarre. Like,
How did that play out in the hip loft?
oh
in
yeah,
his head?
well, first of all, the glutton guy is all into it,
Yeah.
and then the nerdy guy's super afraid
Mm-hmm.
of her because she's like, they present her as one of those people who's like, I'm gonna eat you alive, like, you know,
Spit
that,
you out,
yeah, and it's really weird, and she does like 2 songs, and it's one of the weirder guest spots I've
Full
ever seen on a show.
songs?
Yeah,
That's
oh yeah,
wild.
yeah. It was post Kiss Me Deadly when they were really trying to push Lita Ford as like
God.
but it's such a weird thing. Like when Samantha Fox was on Charles in Charge.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you remember that episode.
No.
Were you a Charles in Charge fan?
I mean, I watched it.
Yeah, she played Samantha Steele, a rock star who just wanted to be normal, and she dated Charles, but paparazzi just wouldn't let him be.
Oh, that's so tragic.
Yeah, it was. I felt sad for them.
Real
Yeah.
people problems.
Yeah, it really was. And then
Yeah.
she did a full song because she has to. You know, it's
They can't do that now.
no.
Is it just attention spans?
I think it must be attention because shows are shorter.
Yeah.
You know, they're a half-hour show without commercials is 20 minutes.
Right.
And it used to be 25 forever, and then was 22. And yeah, you're cutting out
That's
5
about a
minutes.
song.
There's a song or
Yeah,
2 songs.
yeah.
Yeah. Does SNL even still let people do 2 songs? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine people watch 90 minutes of a show anymore.
no.
They just want to watch their song as a clip.
Yes.
We get a lot less guest stars on things now, I think,
It's
too.
true. It used to be like, well, it felt like more like a live platform
Yeah.
TV. It was like happening at the moment. It's weird to have a guest star when people are going to watch it just any old time.
And also, I think since I always complain about the 1996 Telecommunications Act.
Oh, do you?
You get it all the time. It's my Herman's head. My friends downloaded
Have you
the whole
laughed till you
thing.
cried
I
about
laughed
it?
till I cried about it. At one of my friends' house, they downloaded a PDF of the 1996 Telecommunications Act for me and just put it on my lap, and I was set for the night. But one of the
True
things,
friends.
exactly, they were, and I don't know them well, but they were like, I think they put it on my lap and then they ran away while I was reading it. It deregulated everything, so the record label could own the TV station, and which was not the case for years.
Right.
And I noticed after that you would get really inorganic guest spots because it was
Right.
like the teenage girl's really into this guy who doesn't have a record out yet, but we're trying to break them.
Yes.
It's like you never heard of them ever, but they're like
Totally.
it was
They're
really just
using
shoved
that as
in.
like a device.
Yes, unless it was Tevin Campbell, who I think showed up in every show for a while. All girls like Tevin Campbell.
His hairstyle's back in.
Yeah, the high top fade. I was shocked to see that in the wild.
Happening. Well, I mean, it's like that with everything. Like
Yeah.
people are wearing like Big Dog T-shirts, and I'm like, just because it's from the era doesn't mean it
Yeah.
was cool then.
People weren't into bum equipment then.
Yeah.
I know you're wearing it. I really saw a guy in bum equipment. I was at a Marshall's where I do most of my shopping.
Wonderful.
And I saw Zubas, which are back.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Nobody, people didn't.
No.
Then you couldn't.
Just because it happened then doesn't. What
Yeah.
about jams?
Jams. Are they long shorts?
Yeah.
Are they short pants?
I
We'll
don't
never
know.
know. No one will ever
They're
know.
not capris because they're for men.
That's true.
Well, dudes.
They had some weird. They were trying to sell capris for men at Gap a couple years ago.
Yeah.
What did they call them? Oh, they literally called them like sun pants
Oh,
or
that's
something like
so
that.
great.
And a friend of mine bought them and we're like, those are capris. Like, no, man, they're sun pants.
That's
it's new. It's like,
amazing.
no, it's not new.
Oh, I love when a friend tries to branch out in a new style.
Yeah, and we all just ridicule them.
Yeah. What about clam diggers?
Oh yes.
I mean, if they had those for men, I feel like
Yeah.
that would take on a whole new.
At least that has a profession attached to it that is somewhat noble because it's like
True.
you could potentially make like a Perfect Storm type movie
It's a fun-
about clam diggers.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe they make a little money. So Herman's Head's in here, and then we have some amazing shows that I forget had premiered in 1992. First one's not one of them.
Oh.
It's a show called Covington Cross,
Oh wow.
which was a medieval set soap opera.
Wow.
With Ione Skye in it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it did not last very long, but it looks pretty exciting. Then we have a show called Franny's Turn with Miriam Margolyes. Did not last long. Sitcom, don't remember. Here and Now, which was a sequel to The Cosby Show.
Oh.
It was a spin-off and focused on Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Well, so Different World wasn't enough of a spin-off?
No, because that was Lisa Bonet's show. Malcolm
Yeah.
Jamal Warner wants the show.
my
Get MJ a show. Also, not a big hit.
Here and Now.
Yeah, Here and Now was gone and went. Then we have
They didn't have their own Dwayne Wayne.
They no Dwayne Wayne. That was the thing, and no Whitney.
Oh, right.
You need a Whitney. Without a Whitney, they say the weak point is this show picks up on Cosby's worst trait, which means a lot different now than it did in 1992, because that would be a very weird show. But it says Cosby's worst trait, sermonizing. I'm here to try to make a difference.
Oh, my God.
That's their problem with it. Bottom
Show
line,
picks up on Cosby's worst traits.
Worst
called,
traits.
To Catch a Predator.
Catch a Predator. And it says, bottom line, we're not going to take it. That's what they should have played for. It was the theme song for The Cosby Show. It would have been, they say it's going to be a success.
Oh.
It would have to be pretty awful not to be a huge rating success, is what they say.
And so it was pretty awful.
It was pretty awful. Out All Night with Vivica A. Fox and Patti LaBelle,
Oh, that sounds like
where
a party.
she owns a restaurant. Crossroads with Robert Urich.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer for Hire in a new series. Did not do well. The Edge.
Oh.
Do you remember The Edge?
No.
After Fox canceled Ben Stiller,
Yeah.
they kind of realized they had a good thing.
Yeah.
So they reverse engineered a sketch show to be like it.
Oh.
And the cast is amazing. It's actually where Jill Talley and Tom Kenny from Mr. Show met and got married.
Oh, no way.
Their cast members, Julie Brown, not
okay.
downtown regular Julie Brown,
Right.
is the main character. And
Love
Wayne
her.
Knight from Seinfeld is on it.
Wow.
Here's the weird one. Jennifer Aniston is in the cast.
Hey,
Yeah,
what?
pre-Friends. And it's...
What is her hair like?
It's pretty much the same,
Mm-hmm.
but she plays Jenny Garth in a 90210 parody,
Oh, that's great.
which is really good. And there's some stuff that's cool in
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it, but it's kind of a nice little time capsule, especially if you are a big Ben Stiller fan or the other stuff in that era, but it did not do well.
I enjoy things that I don't like
Yeah.
a lot, so I think that...
Do you spite watch, hate watch, or just as a curiosity?
I hate watch, and I just like things that are almost there, like a B minus. I enjoy that because it's like, what is the difference between a B minus
Yeah.
and an A plus?
You like
know?
to just take it apart and be like, if they had just done this.
What is the thing, you know?
Yeah, this is that thing. You should check it out. They call
great.
it Wants to Be in Living Color too.
Oh, God.
MTV's Julie Brown is the strong point. Her Delta Burke in a sketch where she turns into a Japanese movie monster is gold.
Oh, my God. Wait, Delta Burke was in Designing Women.
Yes, yeah. And she was the butt of so many jokes at this time
my
because she
God.
had put on weight. So it was like, Delta Burke's a monster.
How dare she?
Yeah, what is she thinking? She's just supposed to be pretty. Shut up. And she's so funny, though. Like,
Yeah.
I love Designing
Yeah.
Women. She's so
It's an
funny on
amazing
that
show.
show. I watched that every single Monday night, which there's no reason why I should have watched Designing Women.
It's not for your demo.
It's not my age.
Nope.
It's not my gender. It's not my region. It was a very Southern show, and I normally had a complete aversion to all Southern shows. Mama's Family being maybe my least favorite show.
that was really harsh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But I would still watch it.
I would watch it too because sometimes there's just nothing else.
Yeah,
to
what
do.
else are you going to do? You're not
Yeah.
going to not watch TV?
The only one I would not watch was MASH because I didn't know that it was. I just
Funny?
didn't get it. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know
it
it was
was
a
depressing.
comedy. I
Yeah.
just would hear that theme song come on and I'd be like, oh God, it's Sunday night. I don't want to kill myself.
Yeah, because you got to go to
I
school.
haven't started my homework.
They're playing a song called Suicide is Painless.
Yeah.
It's literally called that. We want to license this MASH song for this new drug that we have coming out about pain. Yeah, so that show did not do well. Then we have a show called Angel Street. I don't know how you talk to them, but it's Robin Givens and Pamela Gidley, and it's Robin Givens post head of the class while she's dating Mike Tyson. Speaking of abusers, and it's a cop drama with two sassy ladies.
Oh wow,
They were really trying to do like a Cagney and Lacey, but like for like women that look like supermodels,
that's crazy.
which didn't work. Secret Service, don't know anything about it. A sitcom called Great Scott, starring TobeyMcGuire.
Wow,
First thing he did, yeah.
That's insane.
Teenager Scott escapes real life with its pimples, puberty, and parents, and daydreams that have him starring as a real cool guy instead of a geeky kid.
Why is it called Great Scott?
Oh, because his name's Scott. So
But
he's
still.
he's imagining himself as Great Scott.
Oh my God.
He's just regular Scott.
Oh okay.
He's imagining himself as Great Scott. The Ben Stiller Show. It's the first
Yes.
season.
Oh my God.
Look at this picture of Ben Stiller.
Oh, he's so great.
Yeah, he's got a big brick phone, leather gloves, leather jacket.
He has a car phone on a motorcycle.
Yeah, which is pretty great.
Yeah.
And the joke would not translate to people younger than us now because they would probably be like, yeah, you can't have that?
Yeah.
It's like, no, you can have that. Do you remember the MTV version of the Ben Stiller Show?
I don't know.
It was super weird. It was when MTV was they started doing Just Say Julie, and they had a show that Alex Winter from Bill and Ted did called Idiot Box.
Oh, yeah.
And so they would be able to do these sketch shows, but they had to show videos in between. But other than that, they were like, whatever you want. And Liquid Television had started and that kind of stuff.
Liquid Television.
So the Ben Stiller Show was sketches between videos.
Oh, wow.
And then it got bought for Fox.
Is that why he did like Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah, so he started a lot of those like music things. And U2, he was always doing The Edge.
Oh, I love when and Bono doing
Yep.
that bar mitzvah.
Yep.
Like, and somebody left their keys. I also love the Doors
Yes.
amusement park ride.
Yes. And there's a character you did on that all the time that I quote frequently, and it's that like old man on vacation with his wife, and they're like, "Come on, do it, just do it, just do it, come on, do it." And
totally.
No, people are like, "I don't understand why that's funny," and I'm like, "No, it is though."
You have to know the reference.
Yeah, Eyewitness Video, which was like a Rescue 911 type show.
Okay.
We have Flying Blind, which is a really good Fox show.
Yeah.
With
No.
Taya Leone. And it was about a nerdy... Did you ever see the movie Something Wild with Melanie Griffith? And it's a Jonathan Demme movie, but this was basically like a sanitized TV version of that. So it's
Yeah.
like nerdy corporate guy and a free spirit crazy lady who's way hotter than he should get. Well, what's going to happen? Almost like dating Lita Ford, the series. It was funny. It
spin-off
was a
of Herman's
spin-off
Head.
of Herman's Head episode. And then one of the most notorious Fox sitcoms of all time, Whoops. Do you remember Whoops?
I do not.
Whoops was a humorous 3-camera sitcom that took place post-nuclear apocalypse.
Oh, I do remember hearing about this.
Yeah.
I don't remember watching it though.
It's bad.
Oh my
It's
God.
6 episodes was as far as it went, and it was sort of based on a British series called Whoops Apocalypse. That was all the guys from The Young Ones and John Cleese.
Oh, amazing.
It is really funny and it's almost like Dr. Strangelove the series kind of thing.
Was it before Bad News Tour or after?
It was during Bad News Tour because they were doing the comic strip presents kind of stuff
Yeah.
around that time, and it's fun. I mean, if you gave me that premise with those guys involved, I'm like all on board.
Totally.
And this one is like, get rid of all the commentary and the funny stuff and literally just make it about people in a house and there's giant chickens.
Oh my God.
There's a Thanksgiving episode where they try to kill a mutated giant chicken for Thanksgiving. That's the whole. There's no B plot. That's the whole thing.
That's great.
Yeah. Then we have Hearts of Fire, which, speaking of designing women, is the woman who created that show. It's Marky Post Night Court, and John Ritter.
Oh.
That lasted 6 seasons.
Oh my God.
Billy Bob Thornton was on it.
What did he do?
He was like the wacky neighbor, basically. Wow. People forget he did a ton of sitcoms.
That's crazy.
He was on like 10 sitcoms before he started being like, I'm an actor, musician. Have you ever heard that interview he did with that Canadian news thing? Because he's like, I'm a musician.
Right.
I'm not anything else. They are interviewing him about some new album, and they ask him what it's like to work with somebody he's in a movie with.
Yeah.
Flips out. He goes, would you ask fucking Tom Petty what he would... And this poor Canadian... Because this guy's like super Canadian and polite. Is like, oh, I'm sorry. And he just starts yelling at... Like, he will not stop yelling at him. And I'm like, oh,
It's
right.
like he had pent up everything from all the other interviews and just let it out on him.
And it was a normal... Like, it was like... some bit like Robert De Niro, it wasn't like tell me about Hearts of Fire, where he could be like, oh, you're trying to, but it was very funny. Love and War with Susan Day and Jay Thomas, again, not great, but here's one that lasted. Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it was a fun show. Technically a spinoff of Growing Pains.
Oh.
They kind of wrote it out later.
Yeah, I didn't really realize that.
Growing Pains ended in 92, and in the first episode of Hanging with Mr. Cooper, he rents their old house.
That's the link?
Yeah.
Wow.
Super weird. Because I loved Growing Pains. And I had to stay home sick from school when it ended. I was so upset.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So they just wanted to use that set again?
I guess, yeah.
I mean, it's prudent.
It is good. They have it built already.
Yeah.
Why would tear it down?
Yeah, I'm against wasting things.
Because it's recycling. It's early recycling.
Sure, repurposing.
Yes. There were some... When I realized I had a problem with television was when I started recognizing sets. Boy Meets World, the school, I was like, this is the hallway from head of the class.
Oh no.
It's head of the class. Everyone, my friends were like, we don't like you. Please shut up.
You're kind of ruining the world for
Yeah,
us.
we like Topanga, and that's why we're watching it, and you're ruining it. I'm like, no, but that's the same. No, please stop.
I always had like the loft in Herman's head sort of conflated with the house in MyTwo Dads.
Very similar,
Yeah.
without the cool couch though.
Yes.
Which was that was. I always ask musicians what their favorite TV theme song is, but MyTwo Dads is maybe my favorite where a cast member sings the theme song.
Oh, that's
Greg-
an interesting qualification.
Greg Evigan.
How
is-
many are there where a cast member sings?
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
Facts of Life started with Charlotte Rae singing it, All in the Family. It was more of a 70s kind of thing. But 227 is Marla Gibbs sings No
Amazing.
Place Like Home. There's a few. The Brady Bunch originally,
Oh,
where they all
really?
sang together.
Oh, right.
But no one has theme songs now, but I can't think of a lot of 90s ones.
I mean,
The Heights.
Mine's obvious. It's Twin Peaks. but
So you're
yeah.
going full on instrumental.
Yeah.
That one is...
That song like
It's
changed my whole
haunting.
makeup.
Yeah. It just... Nothing sounded like that show.
No.
It was so...
And Julie Cruz when she comes and singing like throughout the show.
I will say this, as much as I love the music on Twin Peaks, do you recall the episode where you know the campfire song, and it's a whole song.
Oh yeah.
Just you and I. That was maybe the most awkward,
Oh
terrifying
my
thing that happened
God.
in the whole show.
James, he's
Yeah.
so sweet, but he's so dumb.
He really is. That is the kind of song that guy would write for a teenage girl.
It's true.
But even at 12, when I'm watching it, I was just like, ew, no.
The best too is it's Cheryl Lee back on the show as Maddie,
As
her
Maddie,
cousin
yeah.
from Missoula, Montana.
Yep.
And they're singing together, Donna.
Yeah,
and
Laura
Donna,
Flynn Boyle's
Donna was
belting
so
it out.
tragic.
She really was.
I wanted to be just like Donna
What was your thoughts on Fire Walk With Me, though, where she's Moira Kelly?
It's disturbing. It's like a hallway. Like, this isn't... You can all see this is not the same.
Everybody knows it's not her, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really weird. It took me out of it. And that might be the scariest horror movie of the 90s, Fire Walk With Me.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Definitely.
Absolutely terrifying. Managed to not have that song in the movie, though.
Just you.
And together.
I just used that actually as a reference for Tremolo.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That particular song?
I want the cheesy tremolo. Like, here, let me show you.
Just you and I. And it had that Jordan Knight falsetto that people for some reason thought was okay to do for a whole song.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm also, obviously being from Boston, a little bit New Kids on the Block obsessed.
Well, Joey McIntyre did a Judas Priest cover with us on stage at Irving Plaza.
Did he?
Yeah.
What'd you do? Breaking the Law?
Living After Midnight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But he could belt that out, I imagine.
Yeah.
But Jordan.
It wouldn't have been Jordan Knight. Although I do like Jordan Knight's comeback.
Yes, that dance record when he was on Surreal Life was really good.
It was awesome.
But my quintessential New Kid song, Step by Step.
Uh-huh.
Reason being, first of all, I counted how many times they say girl in that song.
Oh, wonderful.
Because I have a lot of time on my
Yeah,
hands.
yeah.
It's way less than you think it will be.
Really?
It's 17 times.
That's not a lot.
No, and there's ones where Jordan he just fits him in like someone made him a bet he couldn't fit in because it's like step by step, girl. Like it's just like it doesn't fit, but he does it. But my favorite thing is when they're doing the count off and he comes in and does the falsetto one, which is really weird.
Yes.
And then Danny goes, "We can have lots of fun," and I'm like, "That you should have done a second take on that one, man." Like that.
That was step one.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Jordan's is it's just you and me. It's a little weird, but Joey was he could do anything.
Yeah, he could. And he did.
He really did. Yeah. And he was on that sitcom last year. He was like the older brother. It was a show of like a Boston Irish family.
Wow.
Yeah, it was and Donnie Wahlberg's on that show Blue Bloods.
He's an amazing actor.
Which is so weird.
He's in Sixth Sense?
Yeah, he's the one who shoots Bruce Willis.
In underwear, he's wearing tighty whities.
He's wearing tighty whities, yes. But he in real life doesn't. So that's just how good of an actor he is.
He could pull off.
He could pull off tighty whities in more ways than one.
Adult underwear, adult diapers.
Yes. Have you seen? I don't know how often you go by Hot Topics these days.
All the time.
But they sell adult underoos now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like full on adult size recreations of underoos with like He-Man and stuff.
Wow.
I am all for nostalgia.
Yeah.
But that's a little much.
There's something a little weird about that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like grown women wearing like little girl underwear.
Yeah.
Like day of the week
Days
underwear.
of the week. That's
I mean,
creepy.
whatever happens behind closed doors is kind of your business,
Yeah.
you know? But it could get weird.
Yeah, and we know that someone's doing it because we see it.
Yeah.
And
if you've thought of it, it's happening.
yeah, exactly.
That's the rule.
Oh dear.
I'm thinking of some new things right now.
Yes, they're
to make
happening
them
right
happen.
now. Yes, I'm making them happen as someone's really into hanging with Mr. Cooper. And they have a whole thing where they invite Alan Thicke over. He makes them rent the house. It's a weird thing.
It's so good. But
Then
we're getting a lot of use out of that set.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it saved that network so much money.
They're really using that
Yes,
set.
yeah. Then maybe they were just like, guys, we've made a lot of house sets over the years. We're done. This is the best. Well, it's not going to get better than this.
No.
It's perfect.
It's got the stairway that goes upstairs.
Apartment over the garage. Mike's living there.
What's the littlest girl's name on Growing Pains?
Chrissy.
Chrissy. When Chrissy
Yes.
goes to bed and then they all have the big party with
Yes,
the Barbie
the
dolls.
pony and the face painting.
Oh, God, that's the best
That is a
episode.
really funny episode.
I think about that maybe once a week.
That's really kids' fear that like everyone's having a good time when they go
What
to
do you
sleep.
mean, kids?
Oh yeah, I have that fear now too. When we used to tour, we would play. It's punk rock shows, so like we're staying on people's floors and
Yeah.
whatever. And I've never been like a party guy,
Yeah.
and so they'd all be psyched because we're like 18 and we're in Philly or whatever. And I'd be like, "Where are we sleeping?" And I'm like, "All right." And I would just fall asleep in the middle of a room while the party was going on, and then it really would be like, "You missed all that," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Amazing.
Yeah, so I just assumed the funnest, most amazing things always happen when I was sleeping.
Yeah, it happens right
Yeah.
when you close your eyes.
I'm the guy who, if there was like a house party that for some reason I was invited to, which was very rare, if you were at that party and you're like looking for the bathroom and you're upstairs and you open a door and there's like a guy sitting on the bed with the coats watching TV by himself who doesn't live there, and you're like, "Oh, sorry, that was me." I would just be like, "You guys come get me when you need the ride, and I'm just gonna SNL's on in like 5 minutes, so I don't want to
be
miss
cool.
it."
I'm cool.
Yeah, it's fine.
fine.
No problems. I'm not gonna go through people's drawers. Class of '96. Awesome show. You're like, Ken, it's 1992. How are they the class of '96? These brilliant people who created the show, who were really cocky about it, were like, 92 season, freshman year. 93, sophomore year.
Genius.
96, they're going to graduate. Canceled in 4 episodes.
4 episodes.
4 episodes.
They should have done a year an episode.
They really should have. And it had a decent cast. No one really went on to too much stuff, but was like, it was supposed to be Harvard. And I was kidding, this East Coast collegiate, and very few things were kind of set in where I was from at that time. And so I watched it and liked it, and then it got canceled.
Oh, that's too bad.
The opposite of that show, Key West.
Oh, yes.
Starring Denise Crosby from Star Trek and Jennifer Tilly and Fisher Stevens.
That happened.
It did not do well.
I think maybe they flipped a coin.
Are we going with Key West or Class of 96 or like for actors?
Oh, for actors. Yeah.
It was between Jennifer Tilly and Meg Tilly. We want one of the Tillys.
They were upset when it was
Going to Extremes, a show I don't remember, which was again a 90210 ripoff. Here's a great show.
This looks amazing.
The Hat Squad. The Hat Squad, which sounds like an offensive name that like some exec would be like, oh, they're doing that dumb Hat Squad show.
Right. Oh, don't let them come.
It's like a Wonder Years. They describe it as a Wonder Years meets the Untouchables.
How though? That doesn't make any sense.
It takes place in the 60s, and it's cops in fedoras, although they're wearing really 90s silk shirts, so it does not look 60s to me.
They look like a boy band.
They really do.
They look like Color Me Bad.
It's Billy Warlock from Baywatch.
Okay.
His real last name's Warlock. His dad played Michael Myers in the Halloween movie.
Oh, wow.
The second one.
So no wonder he was a shoo-in in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. It's nepotism at its finest. Nestor Serrano and Don Michael Paul. And they say strong point. It's slickly produced.
Oh, hey.
Weak point. No redeeming value.
Those kind of contradict each other.
Yeah, that is a super bitchy TV Guide entry.
It's at least one redeeming quality that they wrote right above that.
Were you into the new Jack Swing?
Yeah,
Color Me
definitely.
Bad? Did you have did you buy singles?
Well, I mean, Color Me Bad, I think, was a little bit after, like, Belle Biv DeVoe, which I was really into.
Well, Belle Biv DeVoe had the cred because they were, New Edition guys.
Yeah.
I sat next to Ronald Bivens at a Boston music event, and it was House of Blues had just opened, and they were like, we need to get local tastemakers here, which I don't know how I got on that list. That's how sad Boston is now. And they had Kelly Clarkson and Lady Gaga playing.
Oh my God.
Like a private show. Did not care. I was sitting next to Ronald Bivens, and I was like, and people were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, he's right here. It's from Belle Biv DeVoe. Very exciting.
Do me.
Yeah. Oh my God. When I listen to some of those songs now, they're shocking that they were on the radio.
It's crazy, like Smack It Up, Flip It, Rub It Down.
Yeah.
You can say that now. You could say that then. You can't say that.
Like American Top 40.
Yeah.
Like Shadow Stevens is introducing that song.
It's insane.
Or in Poison, he's like, me and the crew used to do it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing
What about
else.
Get a Body Bag?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
They should license that for birth control pills. That makes sense to me here. Come on, guys.
There's a connection.
Yeah, I'm sure they could use the money. There's another show called Laurie Hill I've never heard of. Mad About You premieres.
Oh, yes.
Love Mad About You.
Yes, that's a great show.
I rewatch it and it holds up.
Oh, really?
Really well.
I wouldn't know.
It's did you watch it when it was on? Because it's just about some couple.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
It's great. Like the interaction's great. They have one of my favorite Thanksgiving episodes ever.
What is it?
It's called Giblets for Murray, their dog, and they get conscripted into having Thanksgiving at their house, and it's a mess. And they keep losing the turkeys and having to buy turkeys. And there's a scene where it gets really crazy. And at one point, Helen Hunt has the turkey they've bought from like the restaurant downstairs, and Paul Reiser comes running in and she freaks out and just throws it out the window. He goes, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I don't know." It just gets completely crazy. I love that show.
Couldn't think of another way to get rid of
I just panicked and threw it out there. Have you ever got conscripted into having like a holiday at your house for your family?
Oh yeah. This Christmas actually I had my mom, my brother, his wife, and my boyfriend all staying in my apartment that I live in with a roommate.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was your roommate about that?
She's totally cool.
Okay.
She's really into Burning Man.
Okay.
She doesn't roll with the punches.
Yeah, she's like, oh, this is like a total, let's all sleep in the living room on the floor.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Was that their idea?
I don't know if it was any of our idea.
It just
all of a sudden
happened.
we were in a room together and we're like, how do we get here?
It's Thanksgiving. It's Christmas. What happened? But
it worked out.
It's fun. That's when you kind of feel like an adult, I think.
Yeah.
There's
You're like,
two
I can pull
things.
this off.
When you buy a couch and don't just inherit one,
Yes.
and when you have family over for a holiday.
Yes, you're right.
think
I have
that's-
bought a couch and I've had family over for holidays.
But before that, you're like, I don't know how I got this couch.
No.
Somebody didn't need it.
To be honest, the 2 couches I have right now, I have no idea how they got there.
Yeah, they were just there. You moved in around the couches.
Yeah, I think one was one of my friends and one was another friend's.
Yeah.
But one of them is an IKEA pull-out couch. It's like the small square one.
Oh, yeah.
And so my boyfriend and I were sleeping on that couch, and it only goes down to about your
It's
knees.
for small people.
I don't really know how you're supposed to use it. We're looking it up online. Some people sleep upside down and put their feet on the hard part.
What?
It was really weird.
You should never have a bed that you have to Google how to use it. Like, that's the easiest piece of furniture in the whole house. It's literally you just lie down
on
and
it.
sleep. That's
Yeah.
all you have to do.
The little death.
Yeah. I tried to make a joke last night that people were not into about, like, I hate sports, obviously. And it's hilarious to me that if you don't own the rights to the Super Bowl, you have to say the big game.
No.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know
That's
that?
like the happy birthday song.
Yeah, you have to say the big game. You can't say the Super Bowl. It's copywritten. So that's why you always have like, come to Arby's for the big game. Like if they
my
can't say Super
God.
Bowl. So to me, that sounds like just the worst of America.
Yeah.
Like a Rush Limbaugh guy
Right.
had heard an orgasm called The Little Death and was like, fuck those Frenchies. It's the big game. Like just decided that's what he was going to call it because it was like, Little Death. No, when I do it, it's the big game.
Oh my God.
So it amused me, but no one else was on board. I was like, every time I hear that, that's what I think, because
Rush Limbaugh.
I've decided that's a thing that only I apparently know about.
Le Petit Mort.
La Petite Mole. So Mad About You, great show, highly recommend it. Good TV dog.
Paul Reiser too. He was just in Whiplash.
Yes.
He was so great in that.
He wrote the theme song to Mad About You, too.
Oh, I didn't know.
He went to Juilliard for piano composition.
So
yeah.
he must have been really happy to be in Whiplash.
Yeah, he's like a full-on music guy, and he was always. I mean, MyTwo Dads. Mm-hmm. Weird, he's not the guy singing the theme song when he's the guy who went to Juilliard,
Dropped the ball there.
and that's why we only got 2 seasons.
Oh my God.
That's a show I always complain that it's a show about 2 gay guys
Yeah.
with a kid,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But and I don't know this for a fact, but I assume maybe they pitched it that way, and then the network went, "That's immoral." Instead, let's have a show about a woman that had sex with 2 men on the same day and doesn't know who a father is, and a court has to give custody to both of them. That is more morally acceptable.
Like they haven't heard of the split the baby part in the Bible.
Yeah. No Solomon
She's-
in that world.
Her own body is as much of an unknown land to her.
Yep.
Actually, that is what they were trying to preach. They were
Yeah.
like, you don't even consider from the neck down, ladies. It's basically a no man's land.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
You never know.
It's not your business.
You were there at the beginning, but now it's in someone else's hands now.
Let a man decide.
Yeah, it's their fault.
Let a judge
Yeah.
decide this.
Although they did have an episode where they had a paternity test that definitively told them who the father was.
Wow.
And they gave it to Stacey Keenan, and she didn't open it.
Oh,
She said, nope, doesn't matter.
that's wonderful.
She's a lawyer now in Riverside.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like a full-on big-time lawyer out here.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she quit acting and was like, I'm a lawyer.
Good for her.
I guess it makes sense if you're an actor.
Well, she already, probably satisfied all of her dreams.
Yeah, I
acting.
think so. She was in the movie Lisa. What else do you need to do
What's
after
she
that?
gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that movie?
Where's up from the top? You know what I'm
You
saying?
can't. Once you stepped and stepped again.
I never saw Lisa.
Lisa it was right before Step by Step, and it's like a weird teenage thriller movie. Sort of like I Know What You Did Last Summer, but before they got like super slick. And she's this teenage girl who likes to prank call dudes and pretend to be like a hot girl and meet him somewhere and then just like watch him wait and laugh at him. And so one day she calls like the wrong fucking guy and he tries to kill her. Like it's like a whole stalker thing.
That sounds like a Christopher Pike book or something.
It's very R.L. Stein, Christopher
that's
Pike.
wonderful.
Yeah, but like 5 years before all that stuff. I'm surprised that hasn't gotten a resurgence, that movie.
Those books? Oh, that movie.
Yeah, like I feel like girls now would like that. Although maybe they're just like, what's a prank phone call or something?
That's true.
Yeah. Were you a prank phone call person?
Yeah, I felt kind of guilty about it. I
Yeah.
always felt like pranks are the lowest form of humor because it's like they have no chance. Like if you play a trick on someone but they had a chance to know and they missed their chance, you're proving that they're dumb.
Right.
But
it's
you're
their
not
own
proving,
fault.
Right, it's their own fault and then they deserve to die or whatever.
Yeah.
But if they have no clue, it's not really, you're not winning.
Yeah. Or they were just being polite like a person and that's how you got them.
Yeah.
Like, they totally answered the phone and believed me.
Yeah.
It's like
why
like a
wouldn't
human
they?
being.
It's weirder to answer the phone and be like, are you really from?
Yeah, no way. Like, I don't know if you guys ever had to do like morning radio stuff when you were traveling, but those always had the worst prank phone calls.
Yeah.
And they're literally like, this is the hospital, your wife's dead.
Yeah.
And then they'll freak out and then they're like, gotcha. But it's like, what?
You totally freaked out, man.
Yeah.
You sounded like a girl.
Oh, it's hilarious. But there are people who love that.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, why? What?
I mean, you know.
We need more people to try and kill them for doing it.
Yeah. Lisa should be a PSA.
How great would a movie be that some like morning zoo crew calls the wrong fucking guy and then he just hunts them all down?
I was going to say it was, well, that's kind of like the end of Bill and Ted. No, where they find all the people on the internet that have been talking about them and they go to their houses.
Well, in Billy Madison, he kind of is that. That goes on the internet and talks about it.
It's earlier than that. It's like okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We'll think of it.
Yeah,
we'll think of it.
come back.
Yeah. Well, there was a case last year in England where some footballer or a soccer player, for those of you who aren't aware, who's like a big angry dude. Some internet guy was all like, "You fucking sucked on the game," or whatever. He finds out the kid's address, drives 3 hours, and then tweets a picture of him outside the dude's front door and is like, "I'm outside your door. Why don't you come outside and talk to me?"
So creepy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was amazing. And the kid, I'm sure he shit himself. Like it was, but it was like, that is hilarious.
And people need to see that kind of stuff because it's like you think you're invincible.
Oh yeah, the internet comment of like it just anonymity and you can say whatever you want. And it's
I
like
stopped reading that stuff years ago. About a year before I started, a year after I started.
Which was probably even too long to have read that.
Oh yeah, I cannot read those things.
I really try not to, and I always, if I ever post anything, I always disable comments and stuff. But every so often, I'll do like a set or something, and they post it, and you can't do anything about it, and it's always the worst.
It's the worst. You're
And
like, I thought I was the best person at hating myself. But
yeah.
No, you thought of new reasons.
It's like, that I do the arts because I'm insecure and overly sensitive and kind of hate myself all the time and have depression, anxiety anyway. Like, if you want to comment on, I don't know, someone running for president, then sure.
Someone who can take it.
Yeah. I just sang a song about how I'm sad about how people judge me.
You know about like kicking people while they're down?
Yeah. It's people enjoy that. Yeah. Speaking of which, Delta Burke's sitcom.
Oh.
Delta. She took it by the horns when she quit. And first of all, outfit. Amazing.
Oh, wow. She's wearing pink cowboy boots.
Yep.
A neckerchief.
Neckerchief, which is a look that has never really come back.
No.
For male or female. People have never been able to.
She took it. She's a bottle blonde.
I enjoyed the show. It was actually pretty good. Yeah. And it just didn't hit though.
Well, she was kind of like under the tires already.
Yeah. She couldn't have done anything that worked. Martin premieres that year.
Oh yeah,
Martin Lawrence. They tried to sort of clean him up. He was the notorious Def Comedy Jam dirty comic. Have you ever watched? I went down a hole on YouTube on snap battles. Snap battles were in the black comedy clubs. They'd stand chest to chest and just insult each other back and forth. That's amazing. It's so good. It's so good. One of them, and I don't know why this is funny. This guy just goes to this woman, "Y'all teeth look like baby shoes." And I'm like, we don't need to do this anymore. It's done. And the guy who hosts it's this Jamaican guy, and he's like, "If you tell a whack snap, you got to go." And so if they tell a bad joke, the audience is like, "Get him out of here."
That's crazy.
And Martin Lawrence did a ton of those then, which give that man a sitcom for that alone.
And how did it work out for him?
Didn't work out that well in the end. I think that the Shanae spin-off series really could have, or the movie, could have really launched him into stardom. But one of the few people banned from SNL.
Oh, really?
Yep, him and Andrew Dice Clay are never allowed back again. And Milton Berle as well was never allowed back again.
What did he do?
Apparently he was just a nightmare when he hosted. He was just like, I've heard he's not a good guy. Well, he's dead, so he might be better now.
Yeah.
But he was I think the bass player from Rat's uncle. which is why he's in the video for
Really?
Round and Round.
Oh my God, that's a great video.
That is a really good video. That's a pretty good record.
I actually got to record that song with Stephen Pearcy.
Did you? Oh, that's pretty good. Did it come out?
No.
Oh, I'd love to
Well,
hear
maybe
that.
I don't
Yeah.
even know.
I really like that
By
song.
the time we had recorded it, I was like, I'm done here.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, I've finished it. I'm a lawyer now. That's what I've done.
Totally.
So you're doing a lot of those of the 80s rock song stuff. It sounds like we got Judas Priest with Joey McIntyre.
Yeah.
We got Stephen Pearcy with
Yeah.
Rat. They want you to do We're Not Gonna Take It.
Yeah.
Any other ones?
I mean, that was our whole zone.
yeah.
you know?
But getting to do them with the people is
Well, I mean, I don't think we were going to do We're Not Going to Take It with Dee Snider.
no. Well, he thought he was. He was going to show up regardless.
He was there.
He just
Well,
knows.
we did Strutter for Detroit Rock City.
Yep.
We made a video at the high school. I guess it's Hollywood High. Maybe.
Yeah.
And Gene Simmons came.
That had to be
exciting.
scary.
It was, we were taking a picture and he had a cold Coke and he froze my neck with it and I was like, and I hated myself for reacting.
Yeah, because you wanted to be like, you're not getting me.
Yeah, I wanted to stand there completely still. And,
I'm sure that was some move where he was hitting on you with it too. Like, I'll do the cold Coke thing.
oh, that
That's
old
gonna-
trick.
yeah,
You're doing
this-
the cold Coke trick
She'll
on me.
fall for her. I know about the cold Coke thing, Gene Simmons. So you watched a lot of MTV when you were growing up?
Yeah,
So you had
definitely.
cable at least?
I had cable.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I imagine where you're living in California, if you didn't have cable, you'd get nothing.
Well, we had HBO too, so it was like
Ooh.
we had a portal to the outside world.
Official or under the table HBO?
Official.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so that was the greatest thing because it was like we were growing up in the Midwest, but it was where Indiana University is. So
Okay.
there was
It's a little
there were
hip.
professors, there was some,
There's a bookstore.
there's
There's
definitely
a record
bookstore,
store. Yeah.
all that stuff. It was like a little blue dot in a red state.
That's pretty great, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I always wondered, too, like, if I had grown up one town over, I would not have any of the interests I have or just wouldn't have been able to.
It's true. How would you know?
You would never know. Or even the stuff you stumbled on HBO. Or, like, I used
Mm-hmm.
to watch Night Flight all the time on USA Network, if you remember that. They showed it before Up All Night
Oh yeah.
started. From 11 to 5, they showed this thing called Night Flight. And it was like, we're going to show Another State of Mind. And then here's a John Waters movie. And here's some old educational, like, short films. And, here's a music video. It was just crazy. And I also loved HBO because they showed maybe 5 movies over and over again all day.
Yeah, you just watch,
I
like
bet
The
you know
Fly,
them. The Fly.
One Crazy Summer.
One Crazy Summer. All the time. I watched them film scenes from that.
No.
Because they filmed it in Massachusetts.
Oh right, the boat
Yeah.
montage.
The whole thing they filmed on the Cape. So I
that's
went.
so
I went. My uncle drove me down, and I saw them film the scene where they were handing out flyers for the
That's
Cassandra
so
show.
exciting when you're that age.
It was amazing. Better Off Dead was on all the time. Just One of the Guys, and then the big joke that HBO stands for, "Hey Beastmaster's on," because if you know
no.
because Beastmaster was on nonstop.
Wait, where was I during this?
I don't know. You didn't see the Beastmaster or Ski School or Hot Dog the movie that was on a lot.
What year is this? What was I doing?
85, 86.
Maybe we were still renting movies from the library.
It might have been. Or your parents
Like The
might.
Last Unicorn and The Neverending
Oh
Story.
yes, so you're getting depressed.
Yeah.
There's 2 movies when because people always ask me, like, there's a thing I remember when I was a kid and it
Yeah.
scared me, and I'm always like, Peanut Butter Solution. And then, do you ever see that movie? And that's usually it. And then if it's not that, it's Watcher in the Woods. Then it's Last Unicorn. Then it's The Neverending Story.
Or The Secret of Nim.
Secret of Nim.
The owl with the yellow eyes.
Huge bum out.
Yeah.
Do kids have terrifying things like that anymore?
I don't know. What are they supposed to... I mean, the internet.
I guess, yeah.
Each other.
You could, kids are terrifying. Yes. Yeah, but those are severely traumatic. Like, there's...
Yeah, the yellow eyes and The Secret of Nim. Dark Crystal Labyrinth. I mean,
Yes.
those tore you up.
Absolutely. Dark Crystal still scares me.
Yeah.
But I remember on HBO watching a making of the Dark Crystal. It was like one of the first
Skeksis.
making of things. Yes.
So good.
Is there a metal band called Skeksis?
There should be.
There has to be. And all their songs are about their way of life, those
So
crocodile
great. Well, I
things.
was at the Jim Henson Studios not
Really?
too long ago, and there was a big Skeksis just on
Oh
display.
my God.
It was really exciting.
Were you terrified
It
then?
gave me all,
Yeah,
feelings.
yeah.
It was great.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Were you working there or you just got to do a tour?
There was a band recording.
Okay.
So I was just there.
Where you're like, I'm going to go to the bathroom
Yeah.
for an hour.
Forever.
I got lost. I'm sorry.
I just live in like Muppet Land. Fraggle Rock.
I love
That's what
Fraggle Rock.
HBO did for me.
Yeah.
That show was so good. The Dozers, and they ate those little crystal
I always wanted to know what those tasted like.
sugar, I'm sure.
Why doesn't someone sell those as a candy?
That would be a great candy.
Hey, Disney, I hate that you own all the Muppets now. but you're all about marketing. Make some doozer sticks for candy.
God, that would be so great.
I would just sit around all day pretending to be a doozer.
You know how cheap that would be?
It'd be great. I know a guy who looks exactly like one of the Gorgs, and whenever I say that, people are like, I've never met that guy, but I would recognize him.
Oh my God. Yeah, totally.
And I always used
know a guy that looks like that too.
I think everyone probably knows a Gorg.
Yeah.
At some point.
One Gorg.
And the mom looked just like Charlotte Ray from Facts of Life, Mrs. Garrett, the mother Gorg.
Oh, the mother Gorg. I was
Yep.
like, well, there was a mom? Because
Yep.
I only remember one human in that show.
Yes. This blew my mind. So my wife is from England, and we're the same age, and I was like, let's watch Fraggle Rock, because we're adults.
Yeah.
And I put it on, and it's the old guy with the dog,
Yeah.
Sprocket, and she goes, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, this is not the guy from Fraggle Rock. And I'm like, what? She goes, he's an old sea captain. And I'm like, you're crazy. They did different intros with different people in every country it aired in.
I need to see a montage of that.
So in England, there's a British sea captain who the Fraggles live in his house, and in every other country they have Sprocket's the same, but so it's like a French guy in France. There's like 5 or 6 different ones.
And they just brought different guys in.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that reminds me. Have you seen Big Bird on Spanish speaking?
Oh yes,
Sesame Street?
Yep.
Like, it's a whole different story too.
It's really bizarre. Or I remember they weirdly started airing Shalom Sesame here for a bit, which is the Israeli one, and they had a Israeli Elmo. Totally different, really weird. I'm sure there's clips.
Yeah, there's a different Elmo on this one too.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. It was always weird as a kid when you would see those kind of like weird, bizarro, alternate universe versions.
Yeah, or like you hear people talking about like the popular people at another school.
Yeah.
You're like, they just look weird and wrong.
Yeah, they're not like they should be.
Yeah, this guy wears that shirt on Fridays.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
In the pre-internet age, you had no way of knowing.
Yeah.
Like if some kid went on vacation to England and came back and was like, Fraggle Rock has a different guy, everyone would just be like, you're a liar.
That would sound
no
like,
way.
Yeah, something I would definitely. I'm surprised you guys are still married.
I am too. It was the closest we've had to a breakup, I think, because of that. It was so weird. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But thank God for the internet. We were able to confirm it.
That's great. And you didn't have to let it fester too long.
Yeah. I think the divorce rate was higher before people were able to show that.
The first time I was ever wrong was when I found out about daylight savings.
Okay.
Because I didn't know about it.
Right.
You're not born with that knowledge.
No.
It's not inherent. And someone was talking about, I guess in Indiana, the line goes down the middle of the state.
Oh, so some do it, some don't?
Yeah. So they were like, oh, it's, 6 o'clock over there and it's 5 o'clock. And I was like, you idiots. Like, you can't vote on what time it is.
Yeah.
And I was
That's
so
a
right.
natural. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're just, you didn't like what the U.S. did.
Yeah.
You can't own time, man.
No, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And then I remember finding out that you could and just being like, this is a bad feeling. And it's the feeling of being wrong.
I'm questioning everything I thought I knew.
Oh,
yeah.
that's so bad.
Maybe the Doozers sticks taste bad.
Yeah,
Maybe they do.
Maybe they taste like vomit Harry Potter jelly beans.
They could. We don't know what their taste buds are like. They're little green men in hard hats.
Yeah.
Was that one of the first places that you really got into music? Because I know that the Hensons, like their goal with that show was to
Right.
introduce kids to music.
They were a rock band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Red.
Yeah.
was always
And there was like 4 or 5 songs every episode.
Yeah, definitely. I think that did it. I mean, it was like Headbanger'sBall,
Yeah.
MTV in general.
Kind of like Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, Headbanger'sBall, Fraggle Rock.
Yeah. So that was your Ricky
Crazy
Rackman
hair.
era of Headbangers Ball was the, so was it Saturday nights it was on?
I think so, because it was Saturday Night Live, Headbanger'sBall, Kids in the Hall.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all I needed.
Right. Just that trilogy. We call that the Trinity.
Yes. Some people think it's the Father, Son, and the
It's not.
Holy
It's
Ghost.
SNL, Headbangers Ball, and Kids in the Hall.
I think Kids in the Hall is the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. SNL, so this is probably what, like early 90s, late 80s era?
Yeah.
Pre
Dana
Chris
Carvey,
Farley.
Wayne's World.
Yeah. Mike Myers,
Myers.
Kevin Nealon.
Yeah.
I love Nora Dunn. I think Nora Dunn is completely underrated.
That's
and is
interesting.
great in everything.
Yeah.
She was always good on that show. Never gets mentioned.
Well, yeah, she's maybe because she was wasn't shining.
I guess, but that was the beauty of Nora.
Yeah,
Dunn. Like,
totally.
And
We
she's
need those
really
people.
funny and stuff too. Like she was in. Did you ever see the movie How I Got Into College?
No.
It's Savage Steve Holland did One Crazy Summer, made a trilogy of movies. The last one is How I Got Into College, and it's great. But she plays like this. Her and Phil Hartman play these scam artists that teach kids how to take the SAT test and how to get into college. It's the Bauer Benedict system, and they're just so good as like slimy.
That's so great.
She's really great in that. And then was in that was it Spike Jonze movie with Spike Jonze is in it, and George Clooney, Three Kings.
I love that movie.
Yeah, she's the reporter woman.
Oh my God.
And she's really good.
You know what I love about that movie is the slow motion bullet going into the lung.
Yes, yes. So in a comedy, in the gold bullion, and he's like, "You mean those little things you used to make gravy?" He's like, "No, those are bullion cubes." That's a great movie.
I thought about that when I saw Idiocracy, and they're like, water, and they're like, from the toilet? Like, from the toilet?
Yeah. It's what plants crave. Terrifying movie.
It's got electrolytes.
Yeah, terrifying.
I think about that every day, too.
Oh, I totally do. I totally do. It really is. It's like the Twilight Zone episodes that I saw when I was a kid, and then would be terrified when I'd see things remotely like it.
Yeah.
Where you're like, ha ha, oh God.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's funny and then terrifying.
It's funny when it's on a screen.
Yeah, and more so than even like Office Space or the other stuff he did.
Yeah.
Like, I'm almost mad at him for making Idiocracy because I'm like, I don't want to know.
Please just don't rub my nose in it.
Yeah, there are people who probably watch that movie and are like, this world's awesome.
Yeah, they're like, where's our President Camacho?
Yeah, I remember someone asked me, because there's that scene where the doctor goes, "What your shit's all retarded and you talk like a fag."
Yeah.
And he's like, "This movie's supposed to be commenting on that, but that's funny." And I'm like, "Well, it's kind of how you like. Are you laughing at your shit's all retarded and you talk like a fag, or are you laughing because a doctor's saying it?"
Right.
Which is a different comment.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people are not laughing because a doctor's saying
Exactly.
it, which is very scary. So,
I thought about that during Making a Murderer.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like those lawyers are suffering from that. They're like the Luke Wilson in that world. They're like, you guys, there's just that doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
And the people are like, don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just all retarded.
Don't understand. That's what it is. Well, yeah, because things have changed now where there's no truth. You can't be wrong. So, like, if you said you can't do daylight savings, they would be like, no, here you can. Look, it's here.
Yeah.
And you go, no, I don't believe that.
Yeah, that's what scares me about, like, fundamentalism.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, you can't argue with that. There's no evidence or
Right.
anything.
And it's okay to do that now.
Yeah.
Like, even people, like,
In fact, you're rewarded for it because that
Yeah.
means your faith is stronger.
Sticking
like,
to your
against
guns.
all evidence, you
Yep.
still believe.
Well, look
and
at
that's
politics.
a good thing.
It's perfectly good. You never change your mind. They're like, he flip-flopped. And they're like, no, I just got more info and it didn't make sense anymore. And they're like, you're bad at this job. If you make decisions based on new information, we do not want you to do so. First thought only. Like, if you lived your life like that, could you imagine how horrible it would be?
It'd still be 3:00 for me.
Yeah, it would be. It would never change. It would always be that time. SNL, would you stay up for the whole show? Was it watching?
Oh yeah, because that was just the beginning of the night.
Yeah.
And we would drink Big Red
Yep.
soda, and I mean, their whole goal was just to get hyper, you know. And I would get candy there's like this place called the Village Pantry.
Okay.
And it wasn't a food locker. It was like we'd save up our whatever. We got a quarter every week for allowance because it was like 1930.
Yeah.
And
in the Depression.
Yeah.
We'd go get our
soup. My
soup.
Depression. But we'd go and we'd pick our candy. I mean, it was just like drugs. We were practicing for drugs.
Yeah.
We'd pick our candy out, and I would always get jujubes.
Yep.
In case anyone asked me for candy, I would give them those.
Yeah.
Because they take a long time to eat.
Decoy candy.
It was decoy candy. And then I kept I kept my Halloween candy all year.
Yeah, I rationed that too.
Yeah. Locked in a plastic box under my bed.
Oh, that's
you might
pretty
not
good.
have gone to that level.
I didn't go to that level. What I did was pizza places would have those big maps for the city.
Yeah.
And for their delivery zone. So I went into my local pizza place and I was like, hey, can I have this map? And they were like, yeah, we're getting a new one. So I had a map of my city.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I did a route. And I figured out our house was kind of in the center of town. So I had my parents drop me off at the edge of town. I had a pillowcase. I filled it,
Pillowcase.
dropped it off at home, got a second pillowcase, and my grandparents lived on the other end of town. So I made my way to their house, and then my parents picked me up there. So I had 2 king-size pillowcases of candy. Lasted all year. I was pretty proud of it.
Did you get the nip and lick?
Oh, the little
bottles
wax
with the
bottles.
juice?
Yeah, we would sometimes. They
Those
were
decoy candy.
Yeah,
too.
decoy. Good and Plenty was a decoy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, you're a licorice person.
Yeah, I'm Swedish.
Okay, so
We
you're
love
like
that Lakritz.
yeah. So you would get those when the other kids were like medicine candy.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you
I
were
trade
like,
some
bring it
stuff
all,
for
bring it
those.
all
Yeah,
in
yeah.
here. Yeah, I was not that. And some people
Medicine
give us
candy,
medicine candy. Some
Well,
people
it looks like pills, and we were
It really
practicing
does.
for drugs.
Exactly.
So we were like Tartan Tinies too.
Yes.
Like those were like, you mean red was energy.
Right.
Green was health.
like Quaaludes. Like,
Yeah.
give me some of them.
It
Yeah.
was just practice.
It's yeah. And do they even sell candy that looks like pills anymore? Because
I
I feel
don't
like that's
know.
probably There's probably some study where that's not good for kids.
I think so. I think it was definitely
Yeah.
formative.
Or even just like you left your pills on the counter and your kid went, great, good and plenty. Yeah. Awesome.
I remember the first time I saw birth control pills in the packet, and I was like, ooh.
Because it was in that round, like a
Yeah.
thing that looks like a...
Why isn't my candy come in like a dispenser?
A sundial?
Pence looks like real kid stuff
Yeah.
compared to that. Yeah, sundial.
This looks like some kind of magic medallion you can rule an empire with.
3 o'clock somewhere.
Yes, I have the power. I can change time with this birth control box.
It's also a decoder ring.
Absolutely. It does everything. I feel like they should have a belt buckle birth control thing because it looks like that thing, like a gilded belt. You never forget. You got to put your pants on every day.
Totally. It's right there.
Yeah,
it's real
it's right
close.
there. Boom.
So we'd have our candy set up and we'd have our soda
This is
set
your
up.
siblings or friends?
My brother and
Yeah.
I, and sometimes his friends, who were like, oh, they were the best.
Yeah.
I just like was in love with every one of his friends.
Older?
Except for one.
Yeah.
Who could like breathe through his butt, he said.
Okay.
Yeah. So like at 9 or 8 years old, I was like, already no.
That's a turnoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Say
a
no to
deal
that.
breaker, the butt breather.
Yeah.
Don't open with that.
That's
In many
not a good
ways.
opener.
Yeah, in many ways it's,
It's not a good opener or closer or
Very weird.
middler. Yeah.
Yeah, never showed
But
it,
all
you
his
know.
other friends, you know,
Were just, like,
they're all
cool.
like yeah, they were just the best.
But were they like annoyed by little sister?
Yeah, so we do like this thing where, do you remember 15?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was obsessed with that show.
Yeah.
And there were marathons on Nickelodeon.
Oh, yeah.
And it'd be like a Saturday or Sunday, and marathon would be on, so we'd watch one. And then, like, I knew I had to be really quiet when it ended because I didn't want to annoy them or remind them that there was another world out there.
Right.
So just be like really quiet, and then the theme song would start for the next one, and I'd see them, like, settle in, and I'd be like,
We get one more. I get another half an hour.
and it was like that all day. I still feel like that with
Ryan
like, Netflix.
Reynolds.
Yeah,
started
Ryan
on
Reynolds.
15.
And that girl Ashley, the depressed one.
Yes, yeah.
There's a theme. She was on 24.
Yes,
She
yeah.
got brainwashed.
Yeah. So you, not to get heavy, but as someone who suffered from anxiety and
Yeah,
depression
yeah.
really badly as a kid at this time, especially, and it sounds like you did as well.
Yeah.
Were you, when you would see those kind of characters, would you identify with them, or would you kind of be like, it's not like that?
I think I like longed for it in a weird way. Like I had a
Right.
romantic version of the Doom.
Right.
I was like into the Doom.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to run away from the show.
No,
I was
it's-
like, yeah, let's like simmer in it. Like
Right.
let's marinate in the darkness.
Well, it gives you like a power, you know, like a, it gives you a differentiator from the other kids
Yeah.
as well. And
I think I just liked that feeling. Like I
yeah,
just liked
it's
it.
it's weirdly comfortable.
Yeah. And I don't know. I still don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't quite figured it out.
Yeah, no, I mean either, which is kind of why I'm kind of like, what was it? Because I would like literally sit with just like disintegration on
Yeah.
the headphones,
Yeah.
and I'm like 11 or 12. I'm just like, I wasn't feeling bad enough. Let me
Yeah.
just get it out. It was very weird.
It's because I think evil is more interesting than good.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah.
also that like right around Kids in the Hall is when I started listening to like They Might Be Giants.
Right.
And then soon after that, like Primus.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned that absurdity is a great thing too.
Yeah.
So it was like humor was sort of the cure for the darkness.
Yeah.
Or at least goes hand in hand.
Yeah, you could see how you could manage that stuff with jokes.
Yeah.
Like it's your insulin for your diabetes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, where it's just like, which you may have had from all the candy as well. But yeah, it
I was
makes
definitely
sense.
trying to get diabetes.
Yeah, well, we all were.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to get that sweet SSI money
Totally.
and be able to wear whatever you want. I mean, those compression stockings, free stockings?
Yeah.
Come on.
Stacy from the Babysitters Club was
Yes.
diabetic, and she had like great hair and great
Yeah.
clothes. So
You read those all the time?
yeah,
Yeah, those were book series. Scholastic, was it Scholastic that you guys would get at school?
Yeah,
the little
the
paper
book bus
thing?
or whatever.
Yeah, and you could order. We had Troll
it was
Book Club and
weird.
Scholastic.
My best friend and I had purple. We both had purple sweatsuits, and when the book bus would come, we would wear our purple sweatsuits.
to go to the book bus. We're wearing it's like your church clothes. our best
Sunday
son.
best.
Yeah.
It was like our book club best.
And when people see you and go, looks like the book bus is here.
They called us the Purple Twins.
Did they really? And did you wear it as a badge, or were you like,
No, we were into it.
we were into it.
Yeah,
we're the
totally.
Purple Twins,
Yeah.
and we're Grimace too.
Mine had zippers all over.
Oh, nice.
It was a great sweatsuit.
Fun. You could probably find a similar sweatsuit now in
I'm
the
sure,
world that
yeah.
we live in.
Top shop.
Bring back the purple sweatsuit,
All right.
and the book bus will come.
I mean, it's actually way more ridiculous now because like space leggings
Yeah.
are everywhere.
Yeah. I got caught in a rainstorm out here, which happens never, and I went into American Apparel, which I would never step in if I wasn't.
I don't believe
like,
this story at all.
This is true. So God damn it, I'm in American Apparel. Next thing you know, but I went in to see if they had like something with a hood on it, like on clearance or something.
Right.
And I walk in, and the first thing they had was like a silver lycra catsuit, and I was like, "Who is gonna buy? Like, is someone gonna buy this? Like, where?" This is what you're leading with?
Yeah.
This is your butt breathing.
Yeah,
You're
totally.
putting butt breathing in the window here. People would be like,
not a great
don't
sell.
wear that. No, it would look good on nobody.
Well, they're not going for practical
No.
or looking good. The
What are they-
billboards. I mean,
What are they going for there?
I like exposure.
I guess.
Full exposure.
It really is like someone saw that first Fiona Apple video and was like, clothing company.
Yeah, totally.
This all the time. And
We
seems
want
to
them
have worked.
Look vulnerable.
Yes.
I actually had a conversation about this recently because the billboards are still up and they keep getting changed over, and it's like
Yeah.
this new like side boob, like weird stuff that makes me feel weird, and like I'm really against it, but then I also think about it a lot, so that means it's working.
It's intriguing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in myself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember when I was in college, and they taught us that advertising an annoying commercial is more effective than like a commercial that you
Right.
hate. And then it would be like there would be a commercial that I hated, and I'd be like thinking about it all the time, how
Yeah.
mad I was. And then I'm like, oh my God, it works. Like
I
you
had the
reminded you
Dunkaroos
human.
song
Dunkaroos?
stuck in my mind for 2 years.
Do you still have it?
If I think about it hard enough,
I won't make you do that because
Okay,
it'll be
thank
bad.
you. Yeah.
The day I discovered you could still buy those was pretty exciting.
you can still buy those.
Yeah, if you have do you have BJ's Wholesale Clubs or like Costco?
BJ's Wholesale.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't.
It's a real in Massachusetts. There is
That's like the doctor name.
yeah.
Dick.
Oh yeah. I was telling Brett earlier that the superintendent of my schools was named Dr. Dick Inserto. Dr. Dick Inserto.
It's just too good.
Inserto sounds like a bad college sketch group's dirty magician, like I am Inserto, the magnificent. And that was exactly his name, which was ridiculous.
Amazing.
But yeah, in Massachusetts we have like a Costco, Sam's Club style.
Oh, right,
like,
okay, yeah.
called BJ's Wholesale Club.
Jeez. That's
Yeah.
that's like Mr. Show, the Cockring Warehouse.
Yes, yes.
Ernie Cockledoo.
The brat.
Stained glass.
Yeah, that show. I'm so glad that show and having HBO was a
Yeah,
big deal because you could
major
watch
thing.
it. But I started watching that show because of the Ben Stiller show.
Oh.
I recognized Bob Odenkirk from the Ben Stiller show, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this will be a fun show.
Totally.
And David Cross, who was in the last 2 episodes of Ben Stiller show.
What is he in the Ben Stiller show?
He became a writer. So he went to Emerson in Boston,
Mm-hmm.
and a friend of his was writing on the Ben Stiller show, and they needed new writers because they're on the bubble,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, "Come on here and write." And he drove cross country with John Ennis from Mr. Show, and did the last 2 episodes. And he's in one sketch that's for the weird restaurant JTO Pooter Toots. Where they're like, yeah. And he wrote that, and it's all the JTO Pooter
my
Toot.
God.
And that was the first thing. And he's in the movie The Rocketeer.
Really?
Yeah, so he moved out here and he auditioned for whatever, as you do. And he's like a reporter in a scene from The Rocketeer.
God, that's so good.
What are you gonna do, Rocketeer? Yeah, so that's why I started watching Mr. Show, and that show was nobody watched. Did you watch it when it was live, or did you discover it later?
Mr. Show?
Yeah.
I discovered it a little later because I had that thing with like in Ghost World when everyone's like, "Have you seen the flower that drank the moon?"
Not watching
Great
it.
film, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. What? But then I did mushrooms and maybe mushrooms or yeah, that had to be it. I was
Something opened your mind to
in San
it.
Diego. I was in San Diego.
Oh, it had to be mushrooms.
It might have been there was a glass coffee table, so
Okay.
it might have been something else.
Yep.
And they were at the knickknack. They were getting knickknacks at the.
Oh yeah.
Or that's I was done.
Yeah.
It's like knickknacks.
It's hilarious.
bric-a-brac.
Bric-a-brac, yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And it's very much like Kids in the Hall.
Yeah.
And when we grew up watching those nonstop on Comedy Central and the reruns, then there was nothing. We had like Mad TV,
Yeah.
which wasn't the same.
We played on Mad TV.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
How
that
was
was
that?
fun. It was
Yeah.
good. They had good sound. I remember because I was like, I don't know about this show, but they had the best sound.
Oh, really?
Maybe not the best, but up there.
Did you ever get asked to do anything you had to mime?
Yeah, but like more in Europe. They're more okay with that in Europe.
Did you do Top of the Pops or anything?
think
stuff
so,
like that?
yeah.
It's really weird there.
I'm not
when you
really
do
an
it.
authority on my own career.
Right, that's fine. Why would you be? No other people will do that.
Isn't that the internet's
Yeah, I
job?
think you have
Actually,
the
the
internet.
internet's not doing a very good job either.
If you found out there's a different Donnas in each country, like someone's like, I love the Donnas, and be like, look, here they are. And they go, that's not the Donnas. And it's just 5 English sea
God.
captains in England. And
That kind of did happen in a weird way because when we did Jawbreaker, we came in and our stand-ins were there.
That's weird.
It was great. It was like, you always want to see like what you look like objectively.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
Like, she's like a tall brunette just standing there.
That's the version of, is this really what I sound like?
Yes, totally.
The lighting. They were shooting a lot of movies in Boston for whatever weird reason. I look nothing like Brendan Fraser at all. I want to preface that. But they needed a lighting stand-in for that movie where he like fights raccoons, whatever that movie was. It's like called like Nature Run 'Em. It's some dumb movie. I don't remember it. It's from the last 10 years, and they needed a lighting stand-in, and when you're in Boston do comedy, that just like the casting agencies just have your info even if you didn't give it to them. So they're like,
it's like Google and the 23andMe.
Yeah, they're like, who's near here?
We're like, we're gonna need your liver.
Yeah, can you come now? We'll give you. So they were like, we need a lighting stand-in for Brendan Fraser for this movie. It's an all-night shoot. It'll be $50. And I'm like, I really am not interested in, like, even if I was in it or like, but I'm not going to just stand there. And then I had to go like, I don't look anything like Brendan Fraser. Like and they're like, well, you're almost the same. I'm like, can't you just like get a mannequin or something?
Yeah.
Like, why are you?
Why do you need a person
it was
for that?
weird. So Brendan Fraser would be like, that's my stand-in?
That's great.
Is that what I look like?
You might be impressed.
I doubt it. Maybe. I'm really just trying to impress Brendan Fraser. That's all I'm trying to do.
This is a circuitous route you're
It
taking.
really is. It really is. Well, he's in Brain Candy.
Oh my
really
God,
funny.
Brain Candy. I didn't see Brain Candy until way later, and I don't know what my problem is.
Oh my God, that movie.
Did it come out just right when Prozac came out?
It did, sort of. It was when that...
Did Prozac come out? Is that the right terminology
maybe.
for
I think
that?
it came out. Prozac's gay. I think we all know. Prozac's parents are cool with it.
It's very pro.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but that movie, speaking as someone with depression, that movie weirdly was like very important.
Yeah.
Like I got something out of that.
Definitely.
Like psychically, like I was like, oh,
I understand.
I understand a little bit
Yeah.
more, and was perfect for like comedy to deal with that kind of stuff.
Yes. Well, and comedians are the most notorious.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Even worse than musicians.
Oh, far worse. Yes, because they feel like they don't get even the limelight that a musician. Well, the joke is always that all comics want to be musicians, all musicians want to be comedians.
Right.
And they're both miserable all the time.
And there's a bigger circle too, like movie and TV and radio when radio existed.
Which, for better or worse, is sadly. I mean, there's some pockets in America that don't
Yeah.
know it went away and still doing it. But
It's true. They're still there.
You feel like it's 1991. Do you know?
Like these aren't plugged in.
Yeah.
Does that bother you?
That microphone is. I think that's a Fisher Price thing. Was that my first Sony that you're talking into?
No one's hearing this.
Foreigner's still putting out records? Wait, you just drew this cover. But I saw that movie in theaters for like the 3 days that it was
that's
out
amazing.
in Harvard Square, and I was so excited. It's the only time I skipped school my whole life. I was like, I gotta go see it.
Yeah.
And I saw it twice that day, and I hurt myself laughing at that movie.
It's
I was
so
literally in pain. And this will be my name droppy story for the show. I'm sorry, everybody, but I have. One of the other things I do for years was tape trade and get bootlegs and all kinds of stuff. And I had a bootleg of the work print of that movie. Wow. And there's like 2 characters that aren't in the real movie. There's a different ending. It's like an hour longer.
Oh my God.
It's just some really funny stuff. Like Dave Foley plays a fry cook who is he's for depression and anger. So he single-handedly tries to stop the thing.
That's amazing.
And he's like, there's this scene where they're like, he's just frying his French fries angrily, and they're like, "Those fries are done, man." And he goes, "These fries are never gonna be done." And then but it's so funny. And so I had a copy of this, and I did a show with Kevin McDonald, and he had never seen the work print, and I got to make him a copy and give him a copy of the work print, and I was like, my life is done. Like, I've completed my work here is done. I can now ascend. People can talk to me because I'm an angel now. I just ascended to heaven. It was
Dave
fantastic.
Pruitt's gonna be talking to you.
Gonna write a song about me.
The only movie I skipped school for was The Doors.
Oh.
Which is in this TV guide.
Yeah, this was the premiere, the TV network TV premiere, which was a big deal because you
Val
couldn't
Kilmer.
rent it.
And which ties back into the Ben Stiller show because they had The Doors ride.
Yes, I liked Wayne's World too. I'm going to say that.
Interesting.
It's pretty good. It's not nearly as good as the first one. The thing I really hate about it is the Doors stuff.
Oh.
It dates it more than anything else in the movie. And when you try to rewatch it, you're like, nah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that. It sounds like right in my wheelhouse of a B-.
Yeah.
But like, why did this fail?
It's that naked Indian keeps coming in, and as the Doors reference, and it's too much and it doesn't work.
That's on the ride too, and then he's like, "Sorry, little lizard king, you're not tall enough for this ride."
Yeah. Do you remember how huge
Bring
Wayne's
on
World
through.
was for like a year?
Wayne's World?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
when Madonna was in that sketch on SNL.
Oh.
She was the biggest star we had, like hands down the biggest star, and then is doing this Wayne's World sketch. And it was like the first time we saw her really doing like that kind of
And she's
comedy.
flirting with them.
Yeah.
And she's funny.
Yeah, she's really funny. She hosted in 85. The first episode back when Lorne Michaels came back. And the guest is Simple Minds.
Oh my God.
And that never re-aired because the opening scene was cut because they said with Lorne Michaels back, all the casts are going to be drug tested now. And so, because it was, notorious drug show.
Right.
And so it had this whole thing about casting, test them all for drugs.
God.
And it's Robert Downey Jr.
my God.
and Anthony Michael Hall and Randy Quaid. So all these people, and it's great. And Madonna's hosting it, and it's such a good episode. And they never re-aired it, but it was when she was promoting Who's That Girl?
Oh my God.
I saw that in theaters.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I'm probably the only one. It's maybe my favorite movie with an actual cougar in it.
Two cougars.
Two
really.
cougars, it's true. Future and a current. So what else did you write down there? You had some other Herman's
right.
Head. Did we discuss?
We talked about Herman's Head. The Larry Sanders Show.
Did you? So HBO again.
Yeah. A lot of it was HBO. Well,
Yeah.
Golden Girls, Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, Ren and Stimpy was a show that you feel like you're getting away with something.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you were a Snick watcher generally, or just Ren and Stimpy?
Well, I mean, you can't do that on television.
Love you can't do that.
That
on
was an
television.
amazing show.
Yes, yeah.
Garth and the Slime. I don't know.
Had such a crush on Christine McGlade.
Have you seen the documentary?
Yes, it's really good.
It's so well.
The ending gets sad. Where
Is
they
it-
try to do the new one.
Yeah, and just like I don't know. I feel like the edits are a little bit like
It's amateurish.
like I did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
story is compelling.
It's like a solid B.
Yeah.
And it is something I'm really interested in.
I think I like the homemadeness
Yeah.
of it. I went to New York 2 years ago because they did this big Nickelodeon reunion show at 92 West, like theater. And they had Christine McGlade was there and Alistair was there. And then they had people from like 15 and Welcome Freshmen.
That's so awesome.
Hey Dude.
Oh, Hey Dude.
Mark Summers hosted it. The guy who wrote all the music for Double Dare was there. And he played live.
That music was written.
Yeah, he played literally for 5 minutes. Played this dun 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 just for 5 minutes over and over and over again. But the executive who was working at Nickelodeon at the time and greenlit all those shows, MTV and Nickelodeon were the same channel. He wrote dun 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 dun.
Oh my God.
And he would just offhandedly mentioned it because they're like, we need a thing for this intro. And he's like, I play guitar a little, so I just did that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's one of the that maybe the most iconic riff of the 80s.
Totally.
But he was totally like, oh, I don't know.
It's just some power chords. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's actually just a smoke in the water
Yeah,
reverse.
just reversed. But I'm like, you did that, man. It's not even a song people could buy, but everybody knows that song.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would rather hear him play that for 5 minutes than bum bum bum. Bum, bum, bum. He had this beard and he had like a Paula Abdul mic, but no singing. It just had a mic.
good.
It was just playing, and it was totally sincere.
Maybe it
and
was for the because if you have a mic in front of your face, don't you get more? You get paid more.
you get paid more
I
because
just
you're
heard that this morning.
maybe.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get some residuals?
Yeah.
You
I'm
know?
gonna collect on all that stuff.
You know how many times I had a mic in front of my face? There's just some guy who gets a mic tattoo so he can claim it on taxes
Constantly.
later. Yeah. the headset. We played with a punk band that they had the headsets once.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, it was shocking. It was
You
shocking.
can't really be punk anymore. You can't call yourself punk anymore.
They were old guys. They were the band The Freeze, who were a Boston punk band in the 80s. And then they were on, what's the label that Smoking Popes were on in the mid-80s? I mean, 90s. They had like a comeback show. And they
Yeah.
were older guys. And we played a show with them in Electric Frankenstein. And who were amazing.
Yeah.
But The Freeze, who I like, they had those headsets.
It was like because they were older?
I think so.
I mean,
I think they went to like a Guitar Center and were like, give us some good gear, man.
that's so nuts. Like, we got to budge.
Yep. And the guy
Gonna
was
use
like,
it.
hey, man, these are great. You can run around, get all physical. You don't got to worry about it breaking. And, on paper, when you're 50 years old, it probably made sense.
I mean, the best advice I ever got for performing when you're older was all name drop now. Bruce Dickinson.
Please do. Yes.
We were playing with Iron Maiden. And, I mean, not with, because it was Rock and Ring, so it's
Right.
like us and every other band in the world.
But still,
Same
that counts.
stage.
That counts.
We were the first, and they were the last.
You talked to Bruce Dickinson.
I hung out with him, like, while he was off stage in between, during a solo.
Who we should say is the closest thing to an actual James Bond you can get.
Oh, yeah.
The man is a pilot.
Yeah.
He fences.
He does it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said, because he had some neck problem from headbanging, and we all were like, oh, we got rock neck, because it was like our second show of that tour, And he's like, oh, no, don't headbang. He's like, it's all in the arms.
Just fool him with the
And
arm.
then he went out there and, like, first of all, he was like, oh, I got to go, because he had to be back on stage. And he goes, swings like a golf swing, because he plays
like
golf,
Johnny
too.
Carson?
Yeah.
Woo.
And then he runs out there and he's like,
Oh my God. Oh my God.
all in the arms.
He's got the technique.
Yeah.
Although I did show the Andrew WK a couple months ago, and he had, thinking about
He's
it,
got a
it's
lot
on
of
the
arms.
arms.
Yeah.
On the arms.
He's the most positive guy.
Oh my God. It's
Have you ever
unbelievable.
seen Zen of Screaming?
Yes.
He's so good at that.
I had him on the show, and I couldn't tell how much of it was a construction.
Oh, right.
And then I'm like, no, this is just how the dude is.
Yeah, he's stoked.
Yeah, he's so excited.
Yeah.
He made everyone in the crowd candy. Like, he made them fudge. In the middle of the show, he's like, I've made candies for you. And he handed them out. And then he said one of the funniest things I've ever heard, and it was completely sincere. He goes, I'm going to party this keyboard into submission. And I'm dying. It was so funny. And then he ended the show. He goes, we're going to count this one down New Year's Eve style. 90, 89. And he counted all the way down
That's
from 90.
so good.
By the time he got to 10, the crowd was in the most frenzied crowd I'd ever seen. And it was this enormous, I was like, this is a show, man.
Oh,
like
that's so
it
good.
was fantastic. But yeah, he figured out the arms thing.
Yeah, he's all over
Yeah,
that.
don't injure yourself.
No.
If you're going to listen to someone, listen to Bruce Dickinson.
I did.
I feel like any tip Bruce Dickinson would give me, I would listen to. Like, if I'm in a restaurant and he popped in and was like, order this.
Yeah.
I'd be like, done.
Actually, I wish that was like an app on my phone.
Bruce Dickinson's suggestions.
Because I never know what to order.
I think that we could, I mean, if you have an in with him,
Yeah.
I think we could get him to endorse that, and then we'd make a lot of money.
Can anyone really get him to do anything, though?
But I think if it's a good enough idea,
I guess maybe we could make him think he thought of it.
Yeah, I'd be like, man, if people only had an app that Bruce Dickinson could suggest, what to get at a restaurant. Because I heard, I don't want to say anything, but I heard that David Coverdale's working on something
yeah.
like that. So maybe we want to do that before him.
There was some competition.
Put the competition there. If he wanted to beat Coverdale, he'd do it.
All right.
Did you ever meet David Coverdale?
No.
Oh, see, one of my soft spots is Whitesnake.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. Of all those bands.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. Taste isn't a choice.
That's true. Is This Love? I listen to it over and over and over again. And I love his speaking voice. I love hearing interviews with him because he has this amazing speaking voice.
I don't know if I know his speaking
He
voice.
sounds exactly like Roger Moore.
Oh.
It's really weird.
Wow.
And and he's from the north of England. It shouldn't have an accent like that.
Sexy or scholarly?
I mean, it's not sexy to me,
Yeah.
but I could see how it could be. It's kind of like a sexy scholarly.
I guess that is really different.
Yeah, it's sexerly. It depends on who you are. Sexerly sounds like when did you ever do Mad Libs when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah.
And you'd try to be like as dirty as possible
Yeah.
for a 12-year-old. So it'd be like, give me a verb. Sexerly. Then it'd always be like boobs.
Oh my God, the best was this is a Wayne's World reference. We were at Disneyland.
Yep.
And we had eaten pot cookies, and we were trying to eat dinner at the Blue Bayou, and we were doing Mad Libs, and someone the line was blank, keep falling on my head.
Yeah.
And someone that for their nun had chosen ass sphincter.
Ass sphincter.
And
Perfect.
so it was ass sphincters keep falling on my head, and we were laughing like laugh paralysis, and the poor waitress tried to come and take our order, and we were all like frozen in place because we had been laughing like in the
And you
week.
can't explain that to her.
The only thing that was moving was that tears were rolling down our face. But we were
Yeah.
completely frozen. We were like, ha! And she was like,
It's ass sphincter in the heads.
I'm gonna let you guys read the menu some more.
I'm gonna come back. And I'm just gonna, you know what I'm gonna do, guys? Gonna get you some coffee on the house.
Some orange slices. I don't know what you're on.
Yeah, this is even more embarrassing because I was not on any sort of drug at this time, but I was driving and I saw some graffiti that said barf. And I was like, barf is such a funny word. And I started running scenarios in my head where clinical situations that you would say vomit,
Right.
the person just says barf. So like you're in a doctor's office, you didn't take your Yaz, and then he's like, are you having morning barfing? or like someone's, you call up poison control and they're like, induce barfing. And it really isn't that funny, but I was laughing so much I had to pull over because it was dangerous to drive.
Yep.
And then I was like, what is wrong with me?
I don't blame you at
I
all.
tried explaining to people, they're like, barfing, I don't understand. I'm like, no, it's not just barfing. It's the clinical situation. It didn't
it's
work.
so good.
Yeah. So thankfully a waitress did not have to suffer from that.
Well, she might have enjoyed it.
Yeah. Were you upset that Headbangers Ball had kind of ended by the time that you guys never got to be on it really, right?
Yeah, I would have been really excited to be on it.
Because they brought it back later with the dude from Hatebreed for MTV2.
Yeah. Oh, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the same.
He's a good guy.
He's good, but it wasn't the same.
The ball had changed.
Yes. The ball now was made of spikes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as fun.
There wasn't enough hair
Yeah.
or color,
That's true. That's true.
Headbangers Ball was like voluminous.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's Sunset Strip.
yeah,
It's got
it was great. It was like a circus.
Did you ever see when Motley Crue did that record without Vince Neil, self-titled Motley Crue?
Okay.
And they were doing MTV, and Kurt Loder, who's my hero, because he was always too old and hated everything.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm trying to impress someone, it's not Brendan Fraser, it's Kurt Loder. Like, it was when Kurt Loder would be like, good job. And then I'd be like, thank you. Thank you.
Daddy.
Yeah. But he's interviewing them about this album, and he goes, he asks, are the days of Girls, Hairspray, and Fire over? Oh. Which is kind of a fair question, because I think they probably even lyrically reference that.
Yeah.
And they flip out. He goes, fucking girls, that's the question. And they walk out of the interview.
Oh my God.
But then Kurt Loder, they cut back to him in the news thing. He goes, I don't know why I asked him that. And it's so like pre-Colbert, because then they show a montage of all their videos of just every shot of girls, hairspray, or fire. 2 girls. And then Kurt Loder says nothing else.
That's genius.
And I'm like, this is perfect. Like, that's the MTV that I miss, where they would kind of be, it was like they just kind of were doing whatever they wanted.
And there was even music involved.
And music as well. Did you guys do TRL?
Yeah, we did.
That must have been odd.
It was amazing because they wanted it to be like a sea of people, and we were each on our own individual stage, which like even saying that out loud here.
Right. That's
in a private
very,
place is just
like 60s,
just
like
the weirdest, worst idea.
That's weird.
But what's even worse is that to practice, like the budgets were really big, and it just drove me insane because I could just hear like cash registers and change draining.
How much money we're wasting?
Like, come on, well, that's like Bad News Tour, right? Where they try to eat the whole rider because they know they paid for it.
Yeah.
They're like, huh, we paid for this?
Yeah.
They're like, don't want to eat it because they want to be skinny.
Right.
And then they're like, you paid for all that for like.
I'm eating it. Yep.
So I'm like going to the practice for the show, and they had set up fake little stages to be like our own little island stages to practice on, to make sure the monitors were kind of right. Not that they'd be the same monitors at all. And I just was like, oh, what has happened? Like, and we were excited to be on TRL.
It was weird to see a rock band on TRL too.
Yeah. It was strange. I mean, we had a weird pop side. I mean, we do we love the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears and NSYNC. And, we
it's
had
just good pop music.
We appreciated that.
But still, in the sound, the audience seems different.
It confused people.
Yeah.
I mean, our fan base, too, is a lot of 12-year-old girls and 50-year-old men.
Right. Well, most things cross over in that group.
We're the one common link.
Yeah. When we have our concerts, it's like a wedding where we have the bride's side and the groom's side.
Yeah.
It's just 12-year-old girls and
not to
50-year-old men, and we never want to mix them.
I mean, there were some problems.
I imagine there were probably bands, though, that are like, if we're going to play, I'm not on the same stage as them. I want my own stage, my own stuff.
You mean like for TRL?
Yeah.
Like a separate little island?
I bet.
Interesting. Well, I don't think they used to do that normally, though. I think it was just
Maybe
for that
not.
one.
Maybe they just were like, I bet these girls don't want to be on the same stage.
I think you're right about the 60s thing. They were like, oh, girl group?
Yeah, we'll get a little shags
girl
thing going.
music? Okay, cool.
You guys want us to give you boots, or you have your own? Or
You're just going to go.
yeah, we'll just go the whole time.
You're bringing instruments. Why?
How many tambourines you need, Mike? So the producers are going to play, and you guys are just going to dance.
Yeah, but we want to know, where's the band going to be?
Yeah, we have instruments, There's no backing track here. Nothing. But that must have been odd because it's not the MTV you grew up with, basically.
Right.
And it started to shift in the 90s. I remember there was, it wasn't John Sensio, it was John something else. He looked a little like Frankenstein.
John Leguizamo.
It was John Leguizamo. It was on House of Buggin'. And he was playing the guy from Spawn. It was some other guy that hosted it, and they started doing, it wasn't Total Request Live, it was called Dial MTV at the time.
Oh, yeah.
But they had Morrissey on. Have you ever seen that footage? No. So it's set up more like TRL, because Dial MTV used to just be the long-haired dude who invented podcasts. I don't remember. He was Nordic, but he was from Norway or something. But it used to just be him and a green screen and playing videos. But then they did it with like an audience and all this stuff. And Morrissey is one of the first ones they do, and it's full on like crying Morrissey heads in there, and he's got the blouse open and he's hitting them with flowers and everything, and then they're literally like, coming up next, Can't Touch This. It's the weirdest thing, because if he was on 120 Minutes or whatever, it made sense.
Well, just the transition from hair metal to grunge was really weird. It was like an ungraceful puberty.
Yeah, they were just abandoned. Like, this is what works. Yeah, it was like a midlife crisis for music.
Yeah, it was.
They were like, I got a hot young thing, and I'm abandoning. They're like, they're still nope, I don't want it. So you loved all that hair metal stuff when you were growing up, I imagine.
Yeah, I had a babysitter that had, when Shadow the Devil came out, was like, we stayed up. She let us stay up to watch it. So it was a combination of things. There was a reward for it.
When you were watching Headbanger'sBall, were you the kind of person who was like, let me write this stuff down that I'll check out later? I mean, that's what I did about 120 Minutes. You may have not been that big of a nerd.
Well, I think I just remembered it. It was more of a visual. I hadn't become a list-making freak yet.
Yeah, well, that's good. Oh, so you did eventually.
Yeah, but other things.
Okay, that's good though. Yeah, so lists, important. You can control things that way. It's very, very good.
The world is on that paper.
Yes. Well, anything else that you have on here?
I mean,
Silk Stockings?
That's on there.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, I think, I was on this list of controlling the TV world of that night. I was going to go back and forth between Yo MTV Raps and Silk Stockings.
That's quite a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's both things you might get in trouble for watching.
Yeah, totally.
I did enjoy Yo MTV Raps, but then I got a little out of it once it all became rap about my house.
I couldn't relate to that.
But I loved, the Busted Move era.
Yeah.
And Houdini.
Houdini.
But it was the only place you could see black music.
I mean, yeah, and it was really good.
Yeah, and it was the real stuff. It wasn't like, Rockwell, who, sure, I like somebody's watching me, but it was there was stuff they were playing in clubs, and the guys hosting it knew their stuff, and it was cool. And I did occasionally watch Silk Stockings. It did feel like I was going to get in trouble for it. That's what it started on NBC. They had a summer season that was late night programming.
Oh yeah,
and their tagline. It was like trying to do Skinamax on a network.
Yeah,
and it's too hot to sleep. And it was Midnight Caller, which was at the end of its run, which was about a vigilante DJ.
Oh my God.
It was Silk Stockings and this show called Nick Knight, which was originally a TV pilot starring Rick Springfield as a vampire cop.
Oh my God.
And then he didn't do the full series though. But he was the vampire cop Nick Knight.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch. He was in a bunch of action shows. He was in the original version of The Human Target.
Wow.
And really weird. Did you ever?
Yeah, he was an actor before he was.
Oh yeah, I mean he was still on General Hospital when he was doing his big records, which is crazy. Did you ever see his cartoon series?
No.
This will be good. You'll enjoy this. This is like doing drugs without doing drugs. They imported him from Australia as a musician. They're like, how do we break him? We build a cartoon around him. They had a cartoon called Mission Magic that was about hippie rock and roll magicians, one of whom is Rick Springfield, who travel around like Scooby-Doo style, and he plays like 2 or 3 songs every episode, including the theme song.
Oh my God.
Which sounds nothing like anything you've ever heard Rick Springfield do, because it's all, if you believe, I believe in magic.
Oh my God.
It's very like Partridge Family. He has magical mice with him.
I feel like magicians wouldn't be hippies.
I think so too. They would not be hippies.
Yeah, they would be.
Have you ever seen the movie Stunt Rock?
No.
Oh my God, you'd like Stunt Rock. Stunt Rock, 70s movie about stuntmen who are also a hair metal band. And they're really stuntmen who are really actually a hair metal band. That
sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's great. So
if I had seen that at the time too.
Oh yeah, it's literally like guys jumping off buildings and then playing music that sounds like Angel Witch.
The toughest thing I've ever.
Yeah, you can't get tougher than that.
No.
Like if a guy
leave some for the fishes, guys.
Yeah, he wouldn't have to kick anyone's ass. He'd be like, I'm in this movie Stunt Rock, and be like, look, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
I'm
what?
sorry. You touch my car. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. So Silk Stockings moved from there to USA Network, along with The Hitchhiker, which was also an HBO series, where they started producing new ones for that as well, which were not as exciting because it was a little sanitized. Yeah. It was the Pat Boone to the Little Richard of the HBO version of Silk Stockings.
You need that cable edge to make it really fly.
You gotta, because Middle America's not gonna, they're like, I can't deal with this.
No.
Yeah. So Twin Peaks, #1 theme song of all time? We're sticking with it?
I'm sticking with it.
Is there any lyrical theme song that you stuck with?
Well, now I'm thinking about the theme song for You Can't Do That on Television, but I can't remember.
Hey!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not really words, though.
No, it wasn't. No.
Everything I like is instrumental.
Maybe you could write lyrics to the You Can't Do That on Television theme song.
And the Twin Peaks.
And the Twin Peaks.
I'm going to write
song.
lyrics to that song and
I
ruin it.
bet someone probably did.
You know it's true.
Yeah. Or like on YouTube, there's someone who's like, I write theme songs to non-lyrical. Here's my music. Here's my lyrics to The Wire.
Here's what they were trying to say. Oh, The Wire. But that changes every season.
Yeah.
At least. There's something there.
Let's keep it going. Would you ever want to write a theme song for a TV show?
Sure. Well, when Regina Spektor did the Orange is the New Black one, I was simultaneously jealous and admiring.
Because you were like, why didn't I think of that?
Or just, why not me? And then I was like, oh, well, here's why. How about these 10 reasons?
Right. I couldn't have written that. That actual song would not be a song I would have written.
No.
And that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, it makes perfect sense why it's her and not me.
Yeah.
But the feeling, I was like, I don't know, I think it's really cool.
No, you're like, this is great. I write songs.
Yeah.
This is a good show. I could do this.
To be honest, I mean, I think that, like, releasing a record seems sort of pointless and weird at this point.
Yeah.
And I've been working at a place listening to music for film and TV for the last 7 years. And to me, that's the most exciting thing, to get a song on a show you like.
Yeah.
Or in a movie that you like. I think it's like that to me is like my goal at this point.
That's since radio's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only real way to distribute stuff now. Or like when you see these songs that are in a commercial blowing up, instead of licensing a song we all know for a Yaz commercial, it's the other way around now, where they're like introducing songs via commercials and stuff, which is
actually
weird.
That happened. I did a Nissan commercial with a friend of mine, Mike Semple, and we did a song for it. And they were like, the daughter of the guy that runs Nissan was like, or the CEO, I don't know how.
Who's in charge?
I don't know about
El Presidente Nissan. Jimmy Nissan.
President Camacho of Nissan.
Yes.
I forgot about words. His daughter was like, "Oh, this song's cool. Can you send me the whole version?" But we had only done 30 seconds, so we went on and did a whole version of it.
Just for her. Very, very niche market, but a hit with the people who got it. It's like it's the progression of We're Huge in Japan.
Oh, totally.
Is We're Huge with this girl.
With this girl.
You wouldn't know her. It's very obscure. But I think that might be where stuff's going. I mean, you get very, very small niche markets for things, and for people that don't already have an audience.
Yeah.
To build one, you almost have to do it like one person at a time.
And the internet makes it easy because you can just blow up in a second.
Oh, yeah.
With the little, it doesn't have to be.
But it burns out faster, too,
That's
though,
true.
I think. I mean,
That's
like,
true.
we were like, who's thanked in the liner notes of this record?
Right.
Let me go get it. I bought it. I
Right.
didn't like it, but I'm going to listen to it till I like it because I paid $3 for it.
Totally.
And then maybe, ends up being one of your favorite
Yeah.
records. But now I feel like, you can just sample something like, no.
Which is like, that's crazy because I remember every time Blur came out with a new record, like I'd put it on and I'd be like, oh no, they've lost me again.
Yeah.
And like, how do I get to a place where I understand this? I just assumed I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I was.
And you would get there eventually. You're like, this
Totally.
record is daylight savings.
Beetlebum was a real challenge for me.
But I think maybe
But I got
people
there.
don't bother to do that anymore.
No.
With TV either. I mean, there are definitely shows, like we said, we watched that we didn't like. And now I like revisit, I'm like, I actually really like this show.
Yeah. That happened to me recently with Transparent. It was like a Flower That Drank the Moon thing. Like I was like, stop telling me to watch this show.
Oh, yeah.
And then I watched it and just fell in love with it.
Breaking Bad, Walking
Mm-hmm.
Dead, The Wire, I have in a stack, have not watched a single episode, and it's all, but it really is that thing.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's like, oh, I love it. I'm like, I'm sure it's good. I'll watch it, and I just haven't.
Yeah.
I just haven't.
Because you feel forced.
Yeah, like I almost enjoy not having the cultural capital to have the conversations with the people who are asking me about that.
Right.
Like, and not even a cool, like, I don't have a TV way.
Right.
But just to be like, I really don't know what. It's
Yeah.
like if people start talking to me about sports.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you're talking
No, I
about.
don't really get it, yeah.
So it's almost that. But I will watch it eventually.
Oh, you should totally watch all those shows.
Yeah, they're all great. They're all great shows.
You really
fun quality
should.
shows. I did try to watch Mad Men.
Oh, yeah. I tried to watch that and stopped.
I couldn't. I was
I
like,
think I was in a relationship where I worried about the guy cheating on me a lot.
oh, and
so
that
it
is
just
not the
activated
show
all
to
those
watch.
fears,
Yeah. People literally said, you'll love Mad Men because of your haircut.
Oh, wow.
People were, and the funny thing was, there were probably people they recommended to for that one were like, awesome. And I watched it, I'm like, all the characters are unlikable, and it's really slow, and I'm just like,
Makes you paranoid.
yeah,
and
what's gonna
misanthropic.
happen? Yeah. And then people would go, but all the 60s stuff's great. And I'd go, yeah, but I could just watch a movie from the 60s.
Totally.
Like we have them.
There are other ones.
We can watch, like, there's a lot of Elvis movies in the 60s, not good, look great. I could
Yeah,
watch those.
totally.
And you listen to Clambake.
It was a whole decade.
Yeah, there was a lot, and they had cameras. A lot of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But, maybe there'll be a thing someday that everybody likes now, and in 5 years we'll both watch it after everybody shuts up about it, and we'll like it.
It's a wonderful thing to have, like, just in case you end up in the hospital.
Yeah.
You've just got that in your pocket.
What if a show used that as their tagline? Hey, in case you get in the hospital, you can marathon our show. Don't worry about it.
There are so many seasons.
If you're in there for a week, you'll still be fine.
If the surgery doesn't work and you got to get it again, that's what season 9's for.
Yeah, 2.5 Men is perfect for you. Perfect. We replaced the cast member even. It's great. We still went on. You can't kill us.
You can't.
We're the Jason Voorhees of television. Thank you so much for doing the show.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, baby, I see you in my TV set, yeah, baby, I see you in my TV set. I cut your head off and put it in my TV set.
So there you go. That was a fun one. As promised, you will not be asking for your money back on this one. Really great. Always loved just about everything she's ever done. I don't know why I said just about it. I guess in case I'm in court and they play something horrible that I'm unaware of, I won't have to pretend that I like it. But, I might even like it. If you don't have a Donnas record, definitely pick up all of them. But their last record in 2007 called Bitchin' is especially fantastic. I don't swear often, but it's important to use for special occasions, and that record is fucking awesome. It is just a great record. She's great, and I look forward to whatever new music stuff she's doing in the future. If you want to get in touch with me, you can email me at tvguidancecounselor@gmail.com or at canadicanread.com. You can tweet to us at TV Guidance or search Facebook for TV Guidance Counselor and find us there. We have new episodes every single Wednesday, but be sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes. And while you're at it, if you want to rate and review the show, it's a huge help because we sometimes have additional bonus episodes, not on Wednesdays. Sometimes they're Friday. It might be Saturday. I don't know. It depends on what I feel like doing that week. But it's always a fun time, and you will always enjoy the show. I guarantee you that. So we'll see you again next time on a brand new episode of TV Guidance Counselor.
It's like the most beautiful, tragic, dark forest. They look like Color Me Bad. From the neck down, ladies, it's basically a no man's land. I think Kids in the Hall is the Holy Ghost. Did you get the nip and lick?